Visit them online at davis-moore.com.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Who's at the board tonight?
Anthony.
Anthony? A-Train.
Fans, tonight, the National Baseball Congress
Oh.
with your local area agency on aging to celebrate everyone who's having a birthday this year. And your
Did he call you, Doug?
agency on aging helps
Why?
seniors, caregivers,
Because he's like,
I think he wants him for tonight.
their friendly
like-
staff can connect you with
He
trusted
told me to drop him by
information
the
and
office,
helpful
so I don't know about that. He's like, well, can
services.
you find out? I was like, just get with Scott because he's got the tickets. Rod's your client. I mean, I'm trying to chase this shit down.
A native of Mount Vernon, Illinois, Joyce began her teaching career in 1970 at Lynchburg's Bethany College. She is currently chair of the Bethany's Historical Political Science Department and has taught political science at the college for now 48 years. Joyce is an avid sports fan. She has a place in Bethany College's Hall of Honor for starting Bethany's Women's Intercollegiate Program and for coaching volleyball, basketball, and softball. Without a question, her favorite sport is baseball. She watches every St. Louis Cardinals game. Her favorite memories include annual trips with her family to St. Louis to see the Cardinals play. Joyce is active in her community too. She serves on Lindbergh's Fencing Hillingsfest committee and on the 150 committee. The group is planning activities for Lindbergh's 150th birthday next year. She also serves as Lindbergh's zoning appeals board. Another great pitch. Thanks to Joyce Big for pitching for keeping seniors in the game tonight, and thanks for all you do in your community.
Midwest Kia and Rusty Eck Ford helping bring you NBC Baseball this year. We appreciate their sponsorship of our broadcast of the 84th NBC World Series. Newton and the Kansas Cannons about to do battle. Let's run down the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the Kansas Cannons, who will be the visiting team, Nate Crossman will lead off. He'll be in center field, and followed by Connor Hurst, who is in left field. Briley Ware bats third. Ware is at third base. Braden Kirkpatrick hits cleanup for Kansas. He is the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Jordan Williams. Williams at first base. Will Clark hits sixth. He's the shortstop. Batting seventh, Bob Eisenhower. Eisenhower is behind the plate. Chris Opolka bats eighth. He's the second baseman. And batting ninth, Colby Milner. Milner is in right field. Again, the lineup for Kansas: Crossman, Hurst, Ware, Kirkpatrick, Williams, Clark, Eisenhower, Opolka, Milner. And pitcher Garrett Redaha is the man who will toss on the hill for the Kansas Cannons. He has actually pitched a couple years of JUCO ball in Arizona, but heading to Friends University here in Wichita for his junior year of college baseball. Starting lineup for Newton looks like this. Jace Snodgrass leads off. He'll be in left field. Batting second, Landon Irway. Irway, the second baseman. Austin Kranek bats third. He's at first base. Dylan Brooks hits cleanup. He's the designated hitter. Batting fifth, Elon Chamberlain. Chamberlain in right field. Mo Escamilla hits sixth. He's behind the plate. He'll be followed by T.K. Kuntz, the center fielder. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, Peyton Carmain. Carmain is the shortstop. And batting ninth, Isaiah Perez. Perez at third base. Again, the lineup for Newton: Snodgrass, Irway, Kranak, Brooks, Chamberlain, Escamilla, Kuntz, Carmain, Perez. And pitching tonight, Aaron Bechtel for the Newton Rebels, and he is attending Coffeyville Community College. They're, again, recognizing first responders here tonight. They've got the field line with some squad cars from Sedgwick County, Goddard police cars here, City of Wichita, ambulance, fire. Nice touch by the NBC to recognize their first responders tonight, Scott.
As he deploys the stop
It was. This is a great night. I'm sorry, I'm watching Officer Auburn, who got ran over.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was him. It just threw out the first
Okay.
pitch. It's great to see him. He had about a 5% chance to live,
Yeah.
and he's here tonight throwing out the first pitch. What a great night that is. But first responders night here. It's great to see the crowd standing and giving all these people. My son's a first responder. He's an EMT and a fireman in Salina, Kansas. Just told me today I'm going to be a grandpa again.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Ah,
Shane and I are going to be
congratulations.
grandparents. Yes.
Wow.
And I said, may it be a boy. That's all I have to say. But yeah, so it's a great night here at the ballpark, Stevie. 74 degrees
Yeah.
out. I mean, we're in August.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Last night it was about 78, 79.
Yeah,
really,
yeah, you had a
really
great night
nice.
for it.
Not much wind either. Again, we did have rain here earlier in Wichita today, and it threw things off by about an hour, the rain delay. And gosh, I was thinking, Scott, before the Colorado game, we might not start until well after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But the Colorado game, the 3:30 game that started at 5, just flew by, and they ended up finishing in less than 2 hours. The Colorado Sox knocked off GPS Baseball 6-2. Earlier today, the San Diego Rain fell to the Texas Prospects 12-5. So those are the two games earlier today. And because of the results today, GPS Baseball in Pool D is 0-2. The Colorado Sox are 1-1. The Texas Prospects are 1-1 in pool play after their victory today, and the San Diego Rain have now lost both of theirs.
Wow.
And they are 0-2. Another local team will play at 9:30 tonight, and that'll be the Hutch Monarchs, as Hutchinson will be in action in our late game tonight, the 9:30 contest. They will take on the Colorado
And they won their
Cyclones.
first one as well.
Yeah. So
They had guys in the same inning hit 3-run homers back to back in the same
Yeah.
inning.
Yeah.
So they had a big 6. So they can hit the ball, and they brought 4 new pitchers in just for this tournament. The Hutch Monarchs did.
All right.
We'll
so
be
good.
sound asleep when that game's on.
Oh, one of us will. A lot of fans in the stands tonight with plenty of local baseball. The Kansas Cannons, the Newton Rebels, and the Hutch Monarchs in the game after this. And we'll see if two of those three teams can go to 2-0 in pool play as we make our way toward the middle of the week in this pool play round of the NBC tournament. Again, there are 4 pools, A, B, C, and D, and the teams that finish with the best records out of those 4 pools are the 4 that get to advance to the championship week next week, which a handful of other teams have already qualified for, and they won't show up until next week. Thank you, sir.
Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and remove your caps as the Tornado Alley Young Marines present our colors.
Welcome back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It's almost time for the national anthem. First, we've got the presentation of the colors as we've got an honor guard coming in from beyond the first base dugout onto the field of play. That's why things have gotten quiet here. And then we're going to have the singing of our national anthem tonight. We had it via the electric guitar last night. It looks like we've got a vocalist here this evening. We will turn it over to our public address announcer who will introduce, though, the singing of tonight's national anthem. Might hear a little bit of silence first as the honor guard makes their way the rest of the way onto the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please welcome to the field singing our national anthem, Kyle O'Neill.
Oh, so can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed after twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glow about bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Saved us that star-spangled oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Fans, would you please remain standing as the colors exit the field?
A little more silence here in the ballpark as the colors leave the field over on the first base side. Very nice rendition of the singing of the national anthem, though. And one of the neat things about this tournament, Scott, is the way that Kevin Jinks and his staff help really give you a variety with the anthem. We've got our own friend Anthony Smith, who's come out and played the saxophone. I mentioned electric guitar last night. We've heard choirs and
The harmonica with
quartets.
Mike?
Oh, of course, Mike Dean, the harmonica.
Yes.
The official scorer here, an NBC Hall of Famer, will play it on the harmonica from time to time, and he'll come out during the seventh inning sometimes and play the Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Yeah, absolutely. So a wide variety. Also, what I like about this tournament is we don't forget anybody. We include first responders. We have little kids where jerseys can game. We have, you can bring a dog out to the game any day you want. You can bring your pet. So a lot of variety going on here. It's a family atmosphere. And it's great to be a part of the 84th Annual NBC World Series.
And we at Steckline Communications, KQAM, the Big Talker, happy to bring you the action as well. Tomorrow night is 2 for Tuesdays. Hot dog and a Pepsi for just $2. How about that? A hot dog and Pepsi for $2. That's almost as cheap as the free food we get down the hall in the press room.
Oh, I know. I'd say you bring Katie out here tomorrow night, call it a day.
Yeah, there you go. That's right up my alley, a $2 date. It's presented by Visit Wichita, and also they will recognize Mental Health Association of South Central Kansas. Okay, they are removing the first responders' vehicles from the field, and soon these two teams will be taking the field. Again, the Kansas Cannons will bat first. They are the visiting team, and I had a chance to see this Kansas team a couple nights ago, Scott, and one of the things that they did was they played the long ball. They had a couple of home runs on Saturday night in their 7-1 win over the Colorado Sox. Both Briley Ware with a homer and Connor Hurst as well. So those two batting second and third in their lineup. Hurst is actually second. Ware is third. And those were two shots as well. And also it was exciting because those are some local products that are making a name for themselves at this World Series. Briley Ware is from Sedgwick.
Wow.
He's attending the University of Oklahoma.
Nice.
So a quality product right there. And then the other home run the other night again came from Connor Hurst for the Kansas Cannons, and he's from Augusta.
Wow. See, that's what I like about this. You have the kids from Texas, Mississippi, all over the place, but then you have your local flavor here that brings the locals out to watch these kids play at the big. This is a big time event, man. I'm telling you. You look back over the year, come out here throughout the day, you see names of pillars: Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro. I mean, all kinds of names on. I mean, Satchel Paige, all those guys. It's just, it's great stuff.
It's awesome. It's awesome stuff. And I'm excited that they will keep the history of Lawrence Dumont and this tournament alive by having a museum recognizing some of the greats, a Hall of Fame, I guess it will be, for recognition of some of the greats who have come through and played in this tournament as well. waiting to get the last fire engine off the field. So once they do that, we'll be ready to go.
Don't say that every day.
No, you don't. Cherry Oaks and Cheney, one of our fine sponsors of the 84th NBC World Series. Have you played Cherry Oaks, Scott?
I have not, but I heard it's a wonderful track.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
You and I need to go out there and just do it.
We do.
Yeah, we do. We just
do.
need to take the one day off and just go out there before we come out here.
They say it's a country club atmosphere
Yes,
and a
yeah.
public course. Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll have to do that sometime. Also, our thanks to Team Electric for sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. Of course, they are run by Rod Stevenson, who also is the general manager for the Kansas Cannons. So we appreciate his support of our broadcasts of the 84th NBC World Series. Just Right Auto Repair as well. And Shire Graphics helping bring you coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. Don't forget, in the 7th inning also, we will have our Champs Sports Bar and Grill giveaway. It'll be a hamburger, french fries, and a drink, courtesy of Champs Sports Bar and Grill. We'll give away a phone number, call in, and the lucky caller, we will tell you which one, will receive a free meal from Champs Sports Bar and Grill down there on South Seneca. So stay tuned for that as well. We'll do that in the 7th inning. So that'll happen in the 7th inning. Also, Faunastock is a sponsor of the NBC World Series on KQAM, the Big Talker, and right now they've got a great deal. You can get $50 off your electrical or plumbing service call. Call 943-HEAT, 943-HEAT. Do that if you need electrical or plumbing work on a service call, and they will knock $50 off. That's significant. Faunastock Electrical and Plumbing will take care of you there. And Taco Prano, also a sponsor of the 84th NBC World Series on KQAM. And tomorrow, Scott, Taco Tuesday at Taco Prano, 60-cent tacos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now there's where you can get in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Money Saver Combo also. You can get a meal for under $4. That's a heck of a deal. Ask them about the Money Saver Combo at Taco Prano, 2 Wichita locations. And we, without even having thrown the first pitch of the game, have run down all of our fine sponsors.
That's outstanding. And thanks to all. We couldn't do this without all of them. Appreciate everybody for doing that. So
absolutely.
Love being a part of the NBC.
All right, we're about set to go. Nate Crossman stepping in from the right side of the plate for the Kansas Cannons. And towing the rubber is going to be Garrett Ridaha, the right-handed pitcher for the Newton Rebels. And he looks like he's going to work from the stretch as Ridaha is ready. And only about half an hour late, a lot better than we thought a couple hours ago. Here we go. Baseball on a nice Monday night from Wichita. Ridaha toes, stretches, delivers. First pitch of the ball game, a fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes at 7:30 straight up with a nice temperature of 74 degrees here in south central Kansas. Light breeze out of the north. 1 ball and no strikes. Ridaha delivers another fastball, that one up high, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Nate Crossman, right-handed hitter. His Kansas Cannons wearing green jerseys today with gray pants and black batting helmets with blue bills. The 2 ball, no strike pitch swung on and fouled right side out of play, and the count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. The Newton Rebels are wearing red jerseys with white pants. They've also got black caps with red on the front and then a black bill. So green and gray for the Cannons, red jerseys with white pants for the Newton Rebels. From the stretch, Ridaha delivers, and that one was a breaking ball in at 74, but a little high, I guess. It looked good, maybe a little bit above the letters. It was a cross, but it's 3-1.
3-1. You don't want to get behind and walk the first hitter of the game and give it a little bit of momentum because they will utilize their speed on the bases.
Ridaha stretches, takes a deep breath before delivering, and this one is sliced foul right side over the first base dugout. And the count's now full at 3-2. The first base dugout occupied by the Newton Rebels. The Kansas Cannons are over on the third base side, with Kansas being the visitors tonight. And a nice gathering of fans on both sides tonight, down the first and third base sides. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch again, fastball fouled off again. So a good job by Crossman fighting off pitches and staying alive.
One of our great listeners, Ryan, said $6 at Taco Prano and your afternoon's wrecked. That's the truth. Love Taco Prano.
Ryan. Love Ryan.
Love Ryan.
Yeah. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That is the truth.
Ridaha's set and delivers. Swung on and missed. And down goes Crossman. Good start for Ridaha to work back and get the strikeout.
I hate to use the R word, but we do have rain catching bright radar right now. We have a big storm slowly moving our way, so we'll keep an eye on that situation.
Connor Hurst will step in now with nobody on, 1 out, top of the first inning in a scoreless game. Newton and the Kansas Cannons. Cannons batting as the visiting team here in the top of the first. And a big swing and a miss for Connor Hurst. 0-1 to him. I mentioned moments ago in our pregame show, he had one of the 2 homers for the Cannons the other night in their 7-1 victory over the Colorado Sox.
Nice
Another
pitch.
fastball, that one on the inside edge.
Working quick and doing a great job, Garrett
Radaha.
Yeah, he is doing a wonderful job of really keeping them guessing. We'll see if they throw off speed here.
0-2,
Yes, he did.
comes up high, 1-2. Yeah, you can see a lot of cloud cover off to the north of Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It's clearing off to the east, but to the north and the west and the south is where the clouds are, and that's usually where the systems come from, or the west and the south. So we will be monitoring weather tonight as a wild pitch gets away from Radaha and his catcher, Mo Escamilla. Nobody on base, though, so no damage done there. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Connor Hurst, the starting left fielder for the Kansas Cannons. This one down low, and the count's full at 3-2.
Well, I'm telling you right now, Radaha is going to throw one right down the middle and say, I'm gonna beat you with my fastball, or you're going to beat me. See what happens here.
He's already gone full with both of the first 2 hitters. Crossman, he struck out, the 3-2 to Hurst. Swung on and lifted, shallow right center field. Elon Chamberlain, the right fielder, coming on. The second baseman, Landon Irway, goes out, and it's Irway who makes the catch in shallow right. And 2 up, 2 down.
You know, this is a lot of territory to cover. I love the wide openness of Lawrence Dumont Stadium. You saw right there, probably there could have been an easy call-off by the right fielder, Ellen Chamberlain, but he decided to go ahead and let the second baseman have it. But wide open gaps in here. You can always see a ball roll the fence and get a double or triple out of this deal.
It's a symmetrical ballpark, 330 down the lines, 385 to the power alleys, and 400 feet to straightaway center field. Here's Briley Ware. Hard-hitting third baseman swings and fouls a off-speed pitch back to the backstop, 0-1 to Ware.
So far, the Cannons have been behind the pitcher here, Radaha. Radaha's throwing a great fastball, but he's keeping it in on their hands, and it's hard for them to get around on the pitch.
Time called briefly at the plate. Ware steps out, down on the count, 0-1. He was 1 for 4 on Saturday night with that home run to left field. And Radaha delivers high and away with a fastball at 85.
He is working inside out, mostly fastballs right now, only throwing a couple breaking pitches, but so far just dead red with the fastball. See if he can beat him. 1
ball, 1 strike. Radaha set and delivers a big swing and a miss at an 82-mile-an-hour fastball.
Took a little bit off of it, but still a nice heat. And, man, I'm telling you, he was Briley Ware was swinging for the fences on that pitch.
He sure was. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Radaha
shakes off the catcher here. Could be something different.
He worked the count full to the first 2, but ahead here 1-2, and the pitch fouled back right side out of play.
Another fastball.
I mentioned the wind. It's out of the north, and again, that's where a lot of the cloud cover is. So that's the reason for a little bit cooler night. 74 degrees with a light north breeze, probably, I'm guessing, around 10 miles an hour. But we will keep an eye on the radar for sure. The 1-2 pitch, high and away, 84-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count's even at 2-2. And indeed, the systems we see are to the north, but a possibility to move down this way. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on top of the first inning in a scoreless game. And the 2-2 ripped into left field on a line. That'll be a base hit for Briley Ware.
Really went down and got that one. Steve got down and really stroked it well to left field. It was a low inside pitch and went after it with 2 strikes protecting the plate. Good piece of hitting.
Second hit of the World Series for Briley Ware. His home run Saturday was his first, so he is 2 for 5 in this series. And now that'll bring up Braden Kirkpatrick, the designated hitter. Well, not sure about the speed of Ware at first. Instead, a hot smash, fair ball inside the line, down and left. That's headed to the corner. It's going to be extra bases. Ware's on his way to third. He's not going to stop there. Here comes the relay throw to the plate, and he's out by a mile. With 2 outs, they sent Briley Ware around third, and the putout goes 7-6-2 as Ware was out by several steps at the plate.
I don't understand that whatsoever. The relay throw was already being made when Ware was rounding third base. and the coach didn't hold up the stop sign or nothing, and, man, he was out by a mile. Great relay throw there. Gets the Newton Rebels out of the inning. They'll be coming out to bat after this break.
So back-to-back base hits for the Kansas Cannons. Nothing to show for it after half an inning. Kansas nothing, Newton coming up at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
The city's not just built. It's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
Guess how much I got this seat for? Only $5. Yes, $5 because of our $5 baseball nights. And our $5 baseball starts Sunday, July 29th and goes till Thursday, August 2nd. And then we will have our final $5 baseball night on Tuesday, August 7th. So make sure to go pick up your $5 baseball vouchers at Goodwill and Quick Trip in the Wichita area.
Please contact us at 800-232-9580. Again, that's 800-232-9580. Fans walking to the field. The visiting team on the scoreboard tonight, the Kansas Cannons. Starting pitcher tonight for the Kansas Cannons is number 27, Aaron Bechtel.
Ready for the bottom of the first inning in our 7 o'clock feature game from Lawrence Dumont Stadium. The Kansas Cannons and the Newton Rebels. Newton, the home team, about to come up. Steve Strain, Scott Stiles with you on a nice Monday night for baseball. Scott, we were talking about that play to end the top of the first inning on the two-base hit by Braden Kirkpatrick. Briley Ware tried to score from first base, and he does not run with the greatest of speed, Briley Ware, and that throw got to the catcher 7-6-2 before Ware was probably halfway to home from third base.
Yeah, Jace Snodgrass went over. He plays left field. And it was a clean ricochet off the wall. You know, it didn't go clear to the back wall. Went off to the, it's hard to explain, but they have a little field pass pavilion there. Went off that side wall and a bullet to the shortstop. And then, man, it was great relay, but I'm telling you, there was no reason to send him home.
Speaking of Jay Snodgrass, he will lead off the bottom of the first inning as the leadoff man in the lineup for the Newton Rebels.
And what you've always said, when they make a play, usually gets a hit.
Happens so often. Austin Bechtel is the pitcher for Kansas, and he delivers. And a bouncing ball to short and a barehand field by Jordan Williams, and he almost got him out. He had to barehand it because there was no time to go from the glove to the throwing hand. Made a nice play, but just a little late. Base hit on the infield.
Yeah, definitely a base hit, and he tried to barehand it, like you said. Made a great effort, just unable to for Will Clark. What a baseball name that is, Will Clark.
Yeah, not a bad name to have. Of course, this playing field, for those of you that don't know, all AstroTurf except for the mound. It's dirt. Everything else is turf. Between the bases, where you would normally see grass, everything turf except the pitcher's mound. Here's Landon Irway. He's showing bunt and takes outside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So the Newton Rebels looking for some early small ball here with a leadoff batter aboard at first base. Jace Snodgrass is the runner after an infield base hit.
See if Snodgrass, or they put anything on signals getting from third place. Irway gets back in the box.
Bechtel stretches, and showing bunt again is Irway. He gets it down, and it's going to roll foul up the first baseline.
One thing this field does is if you walk on it, Steve, which we've both been on it, but it does have a little bit of a crown to it for the water to run off a little bit, and you'll see those balls roll down the line and eventually roll foul if they let them go.
Aaron Bechtel, the pitcher for the Kansas Cannons, got a nice round of applause when he was introduced. He is from Wichita Heights High School, and he recently finished his freshman year at Coffeyville Community College, where he appeared in 12 games this season.
Boy, you know, with that runner being held on, it'd be a perfect time to slap it right down the first base side. Big gap between first baseman and second baseman for the Kansas Cannons on defense right now.
Throw over to first, and Snodgrass back diving in.
Coach not happy with his lead, wants him to get a little bigger lead. Not much of a lead at first base.
Bechtel checks in with his catcher, Bob Eisenhower. Irway showing bunt again, and this one high and away again. So he's not seen much good to lay down, but he is ahead in the count, is the hitter Irway. 2 balls and 1 strike. All 12 of Aaron Bechtel's appearances at Coffeyville this past season were starts. He went 3-7 with a 6.71 earned run average. 2 balls and a strike, and the pitch a swing and a miss. So Irway had the bunt taken off there with only 1 strike, and he comes up empty, and now they're likely, almost certainly in fact, will not be a bunt now.
Pretty good fastball on that pitch there. Had him up in his eyes, and it's hard to lay off of that fastball when it's coming right at your eyes. It looks big.
2-2. Now time is called, and stepping off is Bechtel after Irway called time at the plate. Runner at first, bottom of the first. Nobody out in a scoreless game.
Would you take a chance to put the bunt back on with everybody playing back now? Or is it too early in the game for that?
I think it's too early with 2 strikes, too risky. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and here comes a pitch. Swung on and lifted, shallow center field. Center fielder Connor Hurst coming on, and he'll make the catch, and Snodgrass has to return to first base.
There's an opportunity right there where that's what frustrates coaches more than anything is lack of fundamentals and able to put the bunt down to move the runners. So now you got a situation still with a runner on first, you got 1 out, whereas a base hit, if you could have moved the runner, could have possibly get the lead in this game.
Austin Kranak will step in now. He is the first baseman for the Newton Rebels. Tall right-handed hitter. Pretty open stance. Takes the first pitch in tight for a ball. That was a fastball at 85 miles an hour.
Popping the mitt pretty hard early in this game. Bechtel still got those Coffeyville Red Raven cleats on with that green. Kind of looks like a Christmas tree on the mound.
Pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. Yeah, it kind of contrasts interestingly with the green jersey and the gray pants with the red trimmed cleats and the red laces. It's quite a look.
Yes, it is. Looks like the elf out there.
Don't tell him that.
No, I won't. He's too big.
Yeah. Plus, he's from around here. He might know where to find you.
My name's Steve Strain.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch down and away. Wild pitch gets away from Eisenhower, and down to second base goes Snodgrass.
Well, they got what they wanted, but here's a prime example, Stevie, I was talking about earlier. You get the bunt down, you're right at second. Now that wild pitch, you got him at third with 1 out, and possibly all you need is a sacrifice fly or something. That's why it's so important to get fundamentals in baseball and be able to move runners in this game. That's what the Royals' problem is, if you want to know the truth. Just they can't get, when they do get guys in scoring position, they can't get them around because there's no timely hitting and can't move runners over.
2 balls and a strike. Now the count to Kranak, and this one in on the fist, and he muscles it over toward first base. Jordan Williams is there to catch the short pop-up up the first base line, 2 away. Williams at first base, Chris Opolka, the second baseman for the Cannons. Over at shortstop for the Kansas Cannons is going to be it's going to be Will Clark, and then over at third is Briley Ware. The outfield from left to right, Nate Crossman, Connor Hurst, and Kobe Milner with Bob Eisenhower behind the plate. Aaron Bechtel, the righty, working from the stretch out on the hill. And Scott, both of these starting pitchers work from the stretch.
They do.
Even when nobody's on.
Yeah. That's what they feel comfortable with, and seem to be more consistent with the strikes. Oh, that hit the umpire right on the inside of the leg.
And it gets away from Eisenhower behind the plate. He can't find it. And now his time been called. The runner came all the way around from second base on a wild pitch, and then the umpire called time. I think it's a dead ball after it hit him, maybe.
Well, it got back underneath the mat, I guess. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ball boy had to dig up underneath the mat. It rolled underneath the backstop here, which is very unfortunate for the Newton Rebels.
Didn't see that, and that's the reason I wondered what the umpire sending him back to third was. But still, that's 2 wild pitches now here in the inning.
Now the defense for the Kansas Cans will be playing straight up here. Just try to get the out to get out of the inning at first base. Knock down anything tries to get through.
1 ball and no strikes. The count to Brooks. Runner at third with 2 outs in a scoreless game. Newton, though, threatening with the first run of the game, 90 feet away. Breaking ball stays outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Brooks.
As clouds start getting darker and darker back up in the north.
And maybe slowly closer and closer, too. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Fastball down and in, swung on and missed.
Well, I tell you, when you see a pitch coming at you and all of a sudden it drops off like that and gets on your shoes, it's just hard to lay off of that because it looks big as a beach ball. But then it comes down and just darts at you, and it's hard to make contact.
The stretch and the pitch by Bechtel. There's a good one in there for a strike taken on the inside edge for Brooks. So the count's now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Brooks is from Oklahoma, Lukiba, Oklahoma, and attending Southeastern Oklahoma State. Count even 2-2. Here's a pitch, something taken off, and a check swing foul into the stands.
Defensive swing. Guy with a glove made a play and saved a lady. Put the glove right on top of her head and knocked the ball down. Good play by him.
Well, that's
go give him an air, though.
It's first responders night, so he was kind of a first responder right there.
Yeah, she didn't even look up from her popcorn. She's still going at it.
It's probably her husband, and he wanted to save some for him. Fouled at the plate as it deflects off the bat of Brooks, then to the glove of Eisenhower, so
he's
Brooks
in
stays alive.
He's in defensive mode right now, Steve, and Dylan Brooks hitting .600. He's got a great batting average from the left side. Trying to stay alive, and it looks like he is a contact hitter.
So another 2-2 offering with a runner at third and 2 outs in a scoreless game. Bechtel delivers way high and away, and the count's full at 3-2. Well, both of these pitchers, Scott, in the first innings have thrown an awful lot of pitches.
Yes, sir. You're right.
We saw Ridaha work the count full to the first 2 batters he faced. He got them both out, but a number of pitches already for both of these starting pitchers. It's just the first inning. Sometimes some nerves take some time to settle in. Hot shot up the middle, through for a base hit. And an RBI single for Dylan Brooks is going to score Snodgrass from third, and the Rebels have taken a 1-0 lead.
That was that contact hitter I was talking about, Steve. He really battled and fouled off a couple good pitches and then just stuck with it, shortened up his swing and put it right back up the middle past a diving shortstop of Will Clark.
So the Rebels have matched Kansas's 2 hits that Kansas had in the first inning, but Newton has already brought home a run. And now here's Elon Chamberlain, big swing and a miss. And the count's 0-1. Dylan Brooks was bluffing like he was going to second as well, but then stopped, and Chamberlain swings and misses.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's real fleet of foot, because if he would have gone there, he would have been out by a mile. Well, it definitely was a good bluff. We'll see if he goes, though. He's leaning.
Fastball swung on and missed again. Boy, Elon Chamberlain takes some really big cuts up there.
He's a big fella.
He is a pretty good-sized guy. 6'3", 225 from Chicago, and he is about almost 24 years old, so he's a little bit older than a lot of these guys as well. Already graduated from college. Strike 3 called on the inner edge, and a good job.
Never-ending Summer, featuring 311 and The Offspring. September 9th, in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, Gym Class Heroes. Tickets on sale now at selectaseat.com or by phone at 855-755-SEAT. 311 and The Offspring. In concert.
Kaylee might come up after she gets off work. So if she comes by, do you mind taking my credential and bringing her out?
Me?
Well, depending. Well, yeah.
Carp said it's born on that.
Parker did?
Harper.
Oh.
1-0 our score as we go to the second inning. The Kansas Cannons trailing the Newton Rebels. Kansas gets their second look now at Garrett Ridaha, and it'll be Jordan Williams, the first baseman, to lead off for the Cannons. Each team with a pair of first inning hits, but Newton the only run. Ridaha delivers to Williams, and a pitch, fastball, high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Williams, Will Clark, and Bob Eisenhower, 5, 6, and 7 for the Cannons, trailing Newton 1-0. Ridaha again works from the stretch, even with nobody on. Pitch swung on, bouncing ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So the leadoff batter aboard for the Kansas Cannons, and that'll bring up shortstop Will Clark. Thanks to Midwest Kia and Rusty Eck Ford for bringing you Coverage of the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM. We will have the feature game every night of this tournament, all the way through the championship game. Here's Will Clark, the shortstop now, stepping in, and he's showing bunt and pops it foul out of play behind the stands.
You know, I hate to harp on this, but, man, we've seen so many bunt opportunities and not be able to put them down. It's like a lost science in baseball.
Through the stretch, Radaha, and another bunt opportunity. This one is going to be fair.
Nice
Radaha off the mound. He can't get to it. The second baseman charges, and Irway makes a nice play. The second baseman caught it with his glove and scooped it with his glove over to first to Kranak for a 4-3 sacrifice. That was a great bunt, but a great play by Irway to scoop it over to first.
That was a great play. That was a major league play. Didn't have time to exchange it from the glove to the hand. Just used the hand almost like an ice scoop and just tossed it and tossed over the first base. The first baseman did a heck of a job of the stretch, too, and making it look a lot better than what it actually was. It was a bang-bang play.
So Bob Eisenhower on with the runner at second. He's bunting third base side.
That's
this is
hit.
up the line. It's going to roll, and now it rolls foul.
Yep, that's that, arc I'm telling you about on this field. It kind of falls off there at the baseline.
Well, and you're already seeing, I think, at the last couple of plays how this turf changes the game.
Absolutely.
That was probably a bunt single that Irway scooped up with his glove out at second base because the grass would have slowed it down. Right there, I think that one would have deadened in the grass and stayed fair.
Yeah, describe it. He hit it just hard enough where the pitcher coming through with his follow-through could not break off the mound and get it. Went by him, and the second baseman playing on the edge of the turf, of the grass turf, had to make a heck of a play.
Pitches down low and away to the right-handed hitter. Nice play by Escamilla, the catcher, to scoot to his right and keep it from getting by and keeping Jordan Williams out at second base.
Kansas Cannons trying to answer back, down 1-0 here in the top of the second.
Jordan Williams led off with a single, and he was bunted over to second. The 1-1 pitch swung on, bouncing ball over to first. Down to a knee is Kranak at first to scoop it up, then run to the bag for a 3 unassisted, and down to third base goes Jordan Williams. But there are 2 outs.
Yeah, 2 outs in the inning, and now you really want to focus on just getting a hitter. Don't worry about it. So the catcher up.
Chris Opolka is in, right-handed hitter.
I'm sorry, no, he's not the catcher. He's second baseman.
Takes a fastball outside for a ball, 1-0. Radaha was close that time, working the outside edge, but just missed.
Polka's had 1 hit and 3 at-bats in this tournament so far.
Pitch swung on, lifted, right center field. That's going to go to the gap. It's going to go down. It'll be a base hit. An RBI single for Chris Opolka has tied the score at 1-1. Just found a good spot, Scott. Shallow right center field where nobody was home, and we start over at 1 apiece.
Yeah, they were playing a little deep and just punched it right over the second baseman's head. Now, he looked pretty good running down first base. Let's see if they put him in motion with 2 outs. Nothing to lose there, really, with the bottom of the order up.
Colby Miller in, takes his strike, 0-1. Well, he's a smallish second baseman, so just judging by stature, you'd guess he probably has good speed. But
absolutely.
That's not always an indicator. We'll see. 0-1. Fastball, a strike. That evens things up. Garrett Radaha wrapped up his second year at Gateway Community College in Arizona this past season.
Wow, nice weather to play in.
He had 20 appearances there. The righty delivers. Hot shot, one hopper. Right back to Radaha, who will run toward first and underhand in time for a 1-3 putout, but not before the Kansas Cannons tie it up on an RBI single by Chris Opolka. After 1.5, a 1-1 tie at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Good evening and welcome to the ballpark. I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman. Temperatures will feel delightful in the 70s. Of course, temperatures did cool off because of thunderstorms that we had that moved through earlier in the day. Now, there is still a chance for a brief passing shower or thunderstorm this evening. There's been some activity up in north central Kansas that's caught my eye that I'm keeping an eye on for us out here at the ballpark. But as we continue to move through this evening, it looks like those temperatures will be falling down into the 70s, eventually the 60s tonight, and then tomorrow highs only sunny into the middle 80s. And that is definitely a great way to end July. So come on back to the ballpark and enjoy it. Winds, they will be light and the sun will be shining bright. So enjoy your time here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium this evening and have a safe trip home later on.
With Ron Baker, and so I was talking to him, and I said, hey, could you bring him up? And he says, well, the only thing is if he's not too drunk.
Too drunk?
Yeah. He said, but I'll talk to him and see if we can get him up early before he gets drunk.
Yeah.
So the first Hayes game, that's what he's going to try to do.
When?
The first Hayes game.
Are they prime time?
Probably. They always are, yeah. Not always, but a lot of times.
Leading off for the Newton Rebels, catcher number 9, Emilio Escarmilla.
Well, each team has picked up 2 hits in each of their first at-bats. Kansas and Newton did it in the first inning, and the Kansas Cannons did it again in the second. We're tied at 1. First pitch is into Mo Escamilla, the catcher for Newton, for a strike, 0-1. So 1 run and 4 hits for the Cannons, 1 run, 2 hits for Newton, but Newton just now making their second trip to the plate. Escamilla sends one foul right side. He's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Aaron Bechtel from the stretch has an interesting stance, Scott. He kind of faces the third base on deck circle when he goes through the stretch. And the pitch is down in the dirt away.
Yes,
2-1.
he almost has to really, you're right, and then he has to contort his body to really, level out to get that push off the mound to come home with. So he contorts himself a little bit, but it works for him.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Escamilla. Bechtel delivers high and away. Usually when a pitcher works from the stretch, they're facing pretty much squared up with third base.
Exactly.
But Bechtel is faced up and squared up toward the third base, again, I'd say the on-deck circle, but is from the stretch. And here comes the 2-2. Swung on and lifted center field. Pretty well struck. Over to his left is going to be Hurst, but he'll have to play it on a hop. A hard hit leadoff single here in the bottom of the second for Mo Escamilla.
I really thought, Steve, really thought that Bob Eisenhower, the center fielder, would really try to make a play on that ball. Dive for it or something like that.
It looked like he had the right angle.
Yeah, and he just pulled up and let it hop right in front of him.
You have to be careful, though, on this turf, because if you gamble and it gets by you,
that is true.
It's going to roll a long way.
But he did have a little backup coming, but he chose to let it fall. The reason I'm saying, nice bunt.
TK Kuntz bunting up the third baseline. The only throw will be to first. Briley Ware makes that 5-3, but a good sacrifice. Escamilla down to second.
See, I like that because you're making the defense make plays, right? It only takes 1 throw away, and you got a rally going. Getting back to that play before, the reason I said something is because the pitcher for the Kansas Cannons, Aaron Bechtel, gave a long stare out to his center fielder like, go get that thing. So that's why I even made the comment.
Here's Peyton Cormain, right-handed hitter, stepping in, now calls time just before Bechtel was ready to deliver. Now Bechtel is set and delivers and sends one just outside. Cormain also checked his swing. 1 ball and no strikes.
They appealed it, but it's really hard to see if he swung when your umpire is standing right back by second base. Tough deal, tough call. More times than not, you're not going to get that call.
Bechtel, fastball, in at the knees, 86 miles an hour. Evens things up at 1-1. A lot of ones on the scoreboard right now. 1-1 the count, 1 out. The score is 1-1. Bottom of the second inning. Newton batting, facing the Kansas Cannons.
Already 7 combined hits in this game. Both teams swinging the bat pretty well.
Bechtel stretches, delivers. This one is sent foul right side toward the right field bullpen. Slices over it and out of play. 1-2.
Now he's got to get in defensive mode, choke up on the bat a little bit, and just try to put the ball in play.
Scott, the clouds from the north definitely moving closer and closer to Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and the temperatures dropped another degree.
And you see the clearing behind it. It's not a big system. It's long, going from north to south. So maybe it'll dissipate before it actually gets to the stadium, but it doesn't look good as rain's starting to fall from the clouds in the distance.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Bechtel looks back at second. Nothing doing there. Throws home, high and inside for a ball. And the count's now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And once again, pitch count looks like it will be a factor for both of these teams. Scott, you mentioned the 7 hits already, and a lot of balls, a few full count pitches we've already seen, and just a little over an inning and a half.
Yeah, we've only had in this game so far 1 3-pitch out, where 3 pitches and got the batter out.
And here's another full count pitch because that one, an off-speed pitch, just missed it inside, so the count to Cormain is full at 3-2. Runner at second, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, 1-1 our score. Bechtel stretches, looks at second, fires home, swung on, bouncing ball out to second, bobbled out there by Opolka. He picks up, throws to first, and safe at first base is Cormain.
That's why you never give up running out an infield ball. Even though it's to second base and it was a hard hit second ball to second base, Opolka had a hard time handling it, bobbled it, couldn't get it out of his glove, and then tried to make a throw, and a head-first slide into first base on a bang-bang play got him. They didn't give it a hit, though. They did give him an error, but good hustle on the play.
Yeah, that'll be an error on the second baseman, Opolka. Fairly routine ground ball that he juggled. So runners at the corners for Newton. 1 out, bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 tie. Isaiah Perez, the 9th batter in the lineup, and third baseman up there. There goes the runner to second, a straight steal for Cormain. And that's big as it takes away the possibility of a ground ball double play.
Now see if they put a play on here. This coach loves to bunt and loves to move runners. With 1 out, we'll see what happens here.
Jordan Williams playing even with the bag over at first. Behind it a little bit is Briley Ware at third. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch swung on, ground ball to short, and they'll look the runner but not throw home. That run will score. Out at first base is going to be Perez. Now a snap throw to second gets away. It goes into left field, and it's 2-1 Newton as 2 defensive miscues for the Kansas Cannons here in the inning.
I'm really surprised that they didn't bring the infield in. You can just tell this game has a feel. It could be 1 run, could really make a difference in this game. And I really thought, I know it's early in the game, don't concede the run, especially at the bottom of the order up. You know, a lot of times you're going to get a strikeout, a pop-up, or a chopper. Now would have been a great time for it to play in. You would have had to play at the plate. And then the unnecessary throw from the first baseman is a pitch number 1 fouled off. Unnecessary throw from the first baseman that allowed the runner to go to third.
Jay Snodgrass up there fouling the pitch off. So 2 quick errors for the Kansas Cannons, and they've fallen behind by the score of 2-1 to Newton. Through the stretch goes Bechtel, and he will fire home, and this one a fastball just outside at 83 miles an hour. So we've had an error on the second baseman, followed by an error on the first baseman. One was a fielding error, one was throwing, and that's helped Newton score 1 run in the inning and put another runner at third base. There are 2 outs in the inning.
And 2 errors by the Cannons so far in 2 innings.
Jay Snodgrass with a 1-1 count on him. Bechtel through the stretch, delivers to the right-handed hitter. Off speed and inside. That looked like a change that missed, and it's now 2-1. Jay Snodgrass led off the bottom of the first inning with a single, then advanced to second on a wild pitch and to third on a wild pitch. He was then brought home on Dylan Brooks's RBI single. 1-1. Here comes the pitch. Sent to the right side, out of play on the counts 1-2. Yeah, it's like a long strip of gray cloud, and it's moving closer and closer.
Yeah. Hopefully it don't have a lot of rain in it and it'll move through quickly.
You're right, though, Scott. After that strip, you see a lot of clearing sky.
Yeah.
But that strip is certainly moving from the northwest to the southeast and right this direction. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch swung on and missed on a breaking ball tailing away, and down goes Snodgrass, but Newton is taking the lead thanks in part to a couple more errors. So as we go to the third inning, Rebels 2, Cannons 1 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
With a lazy river, cool pools, and huge variety of slides and plenty of play features for the kids. And down to the field, here's Elise with all the exciting action.
And I have down here with me Brooke and Noah, and they're going to be catching the water balloons above their heads in the buckets.
Davis Liquor helps bring you the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM. Thanks to them for sponsoring our games this year, and also to Team Electric for their sponsorship of our coverage that we're glad to bring you of the 84th NBC World Series from historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Here we go to the third inning now, and it'll be Nate Crossman that'll lead off, and the first pitch he sees from Garrett Radaha is a fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the order for the Cannons, so it's Crossman, Connor Hurst, and Briley Ware, 1, 2, and 3. With the Cannons trailing Newton 2-1. Pitch outside again, 2 balls and no strikes to Crossman. Crossman 0 for 1. He led off the game by striking out swinging. He was 0 for 3 on Saturday night, so an 0 for 4 start for the leadoff hitter in the lineup for the Cannons. And it might be 0 for 5. Bouncing ball to second. To his left is going to go Irway. He'll throw to first in time for a 4-3 putout, 1 away.
One thing I noticed about this tournament is you have great athletes playing in the infield and the outfield. Great range on these guys.
And you've got to have it on this turf because the ball scoots out your way in a hurry.
And this turf's old. It's old. It's hard. The stadium's getting tore down. It's going to be a new grass field next time we come back here in 2 years.
Connor Hurst is in. Big rip and a miss. 0-1. He's down on the count after popping out to second back in the first inning. Radaha stretches, and this one's sent out of play, and it's 0-2 quickly. Radaha's ahead in the count. I'm kind of looking forward to the grass playing surface. This is such a different game. I know that players don't like it when it's hot out because it's a lot hotter down on that turf as well.
Right. Well, Kevin Jenks also said that due to the grass, won't be able to play the whole tournament here because you can't wear it out, right, in the heat in August.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch fouled back to the screen. That's correct. And also, the field will be more impacted by wet weather, too, because that's one of the benefits of this turf. Is
you'll have to have the tarp situation, which tarps are now being laid out, starting to rain a little bit here. Tarps being laid down on the
bullpen area. Pitch fouled back and out of play. Yeah, this strip of clouds is almost right over the left field foul pole now and still blowing straight this way from the northwest to the southeast, which, again, right over us. And it's not very long. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and down goes Connor Hurst. And that is the second strikeout of the game for Garrett Radaha, and 2 quick outs.
Nice breaking pitch. Big bolt of lightning just to the north of the city there.
So here's Briley Ware, and yeah, you bring up an interesting point. That's something that could stop a game for a long time, even if there's no rain.
Yeah,
if there's lightning within a certain radius, we may have to stop for a while, even if there's not a raindrop. First pitch to Briley Ware, taken for a strike, 0-1. Fastball at 84 miles an hour. 2-1 our score. Newton's got the lead, top of the third inning over the Kansas Cannons, who are batting as the visitors. Here's the 0-1. Fastball again, misses away. Radaha does work quickly, doesn't he? He catches that ball from the catcher, and he's right back up there on the rubber.
Mess around.
Here's the 1-1. Took something off, fouled back and out of play. That was a change at 72.
Change up as a roar of thunder now echoes over Lawrence Dumont Stadium.
And on the west side of the cloud system, you can see it's almost a lighter shade of gray because of the sunshine that's hitting him. There's a high drive to deep center field. Kuntz going back and still going back to the infield and makes a nice running catch. Well done, TK Kuntz in straightaway center field, as that one was about 390 feet from home plate, but a long fly ball for an out. And the Cannons go in order. After 2.5, Newton 2, Kansas 1 on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road. Endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
In the know for all things NBC World Series by downloading our app from the App Store at NBCWS.
Wind's picking up too.
Yeah, Shannon just sent me a great picture.
She said what?
Look at those pictures.
Oh, nice.
Bottom of the third inning, Landon Irway to get it started for the Newton Rebels as they lead the Kansas Cannons 2-1. Irway, first pitch swinging, sends one to shallow center, and a sliding play by Connor Hurst, sliding in towards the infield on his backside to make the catch, and there's one away.
That was an ESPN play.
Tell you what, we are 4 days into this tournament, and we have seen a ton of great defensive plays already.
That's what you expect to see in a great tournament like this, though, right?
Austin Kranak, the first baseman, is in. Well, there's a reason why these guys are playing at a high level of college baseball. Kranak first pitch swings, and we're going to have 2 pitches and 2 outs.
Wow, unusual.
As underneath it out in right field is Kobe Milner, and it's 2 pitches, 2 outs, a fly ball to center and a fly ball to right. Maybe these hitters are wanting to try to get their cuts in before the rain starts.
It seems that way that they got a little antsy all of a sudden with this weather.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't look like it's anything from the clouds or from looking at radar that's going to last very long, but it's just about right over us now. Here's Dylan Brooks now taking one for a strike, 0-1. In fact, Scott, look to the north, just past that steeple, you can see rainfall.
It's kind of broken up. I just looked at the radar again. It kind of split up in 2 now. Coming over the stadium, it's kind of cleared up. Maybe Steve Carpenter yelled at it enough on the way over from Hutchinson.
Dylan Brooks takes down low, 1-1, but I have seen 2 bolts of lightning up to the north as well. And again, if they get any closer, we could be in danger of having a stoppage of play, rain or not.
How crazy. Storm clouds overhead, but yet the sun is shining off the skyscrapers downtown Wichita.
Yeah. It's a system that literally is right over the stadium and extending off to the north. Pitch was fouled away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dylan Brooks. Brooks had an RBI single in the first inning, so a good start to the game for him. Nobody on, 2 outs, bottom of the third inning, 2-1, Newton's got the lead. And Bechtel to Brooks, took something off there, down and away, 2-2. Yeah, it is an interesting contrast, Scott. You can see the sunshine reflecting off of the buildings facing the west in downtown Wichita, but dark clouds are above them as well. We've got quite a scene here. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down.
At Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience, and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
That's cool. I took that one just now. Look at everybody scrambling. Fans scrambling for the tunnels here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And the wind has just picked up a huge gust of wind as we start the 4th inning. Hold on to your hats. First pitch is in. And it's called a ball inside to Braden Kirkpatrick, but the clouds are right above us. Fans scrambling. I think the rain has started. The wind is whipping. There's a strike now to Kirkpatrick, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him. 2-1 is our score. Newton Rebels have the lead. And now a swung-on pitch that's a bouncing ball back to Radaha, just left of the circle, and he'll underhand toss to first. Kirkpatrick retired 1-3 for the first out of the inning.
Temperature dropped another couple degrees. As you can see, the American flag and the flags of the NBC World Series really at attention now. As this system blows through, we should be good for the rest of the night looking at the radar, but just got to get through this next probably 15, 20 minutes.
Here's Jordan Williams now, takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. And Garrett Ridahat, I don't know if it's weather or not, but he's working quickly. But, boy, right as that half inning started, a huge gust of wind, and now I'm feeling the raindrops here in the booth.
Yeah, it's starting to rain a little bit. We got some rain on the ledge. I think we're just going to get the aftermath of it splitting apart. I'm no Merrill Teller, but
Breaking ball in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Jordan Williams. Williams had a nice second inning. He singled to lead off the inning, then went station to station and eventually scored 1 base at a time.
Air.
Ground ball to short, and Peyton Cormain just let it go right underneath his glove. A routine bouncing ball to short, and he just raised up on it. And first base is occupied by Jordan Williams. So a runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning, 2-1. As the Newton Rebels lead Kansas. Here's Will Clark now, first pitch swinging and sending one foul and out of play.
My lovely wife Shannon, her friend Robin just came up here and said the wind is really bad down there. They just came up in our booth.
Yeah, you could see folks scrambling for the tunnels right at the start of the half inning, and it's still whipping down there pretty good. 0-1 to Will Clark, who fouled the first pitch off. Takes one here inside for a ball, and it's 1-1.
Was thrown out his first at bat on a bang-bang play at first base, if you recall.
That was on his sacrifice bunt to second base. Nice play by Landry Irway, the second baseman. He scooped up the bouncing ball, and in one motion, underhanded his glove toss over to first base for a 4-3 putout, but Clark did the job. He got the sacrifice, moved the runner over, who eventually scored.
Big swing.
And he misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we felt just a light sprinkling moments ago, but nothing since. Temperature is down to 71 now, so that's about a 3-degree drop in the last several minutes. Here's the 1-2, ripped into center field. That'll be a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Will Clark. He's aboard. And stopping at second base is Jordan Williams. First and second for the Cannons here in the top of the 4th inning as they trail Newton 2-1.
Now you want to try to get a double play out here to get it out of the inning if you are the Newton Rebels.
Bob Eisenhower is in. And Eisenhower will.
Rain's coming harder now. We're going to get the aftermath of this. It's a steady rain now. Coming out as fans are really starting to scurry now.
Yep, you can see the rain coming down on the ballpark now. First pitch outside to Bob Eisenhower. We can't feel it because we're facing the northeast, and the rain is coming from more of a westerly direction. That's where the wind's blowing it, so it's not blowing into us, fortunately.
The only reason we're still playing is there's no lightning in the area right now. So,
first and second, 1 away, top of the 4th inning. Fastball up high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Bob Eisenhower. Eisenhower 0 for 1. He grounded out to first back in the 2nd inning. Opportunity here, though, for the Kansas Cannons to at least tie the score. Tying run at second base. Here's the 2-0 pitch, down and away, ball 3. Now time has been called. Mo Escamilla is heading out to Garrett Ridaha. And they've just announced on the PA that there is a system here, but it is expected to not last long. Probably hoping too many folks don't leave, and that could cost the NBC some concession sales, so want to keep those folks here. So that announcement just made. 3 balls and no strikes, the count at the plate to Bob Eisenhower. Time had been called momentarily. Escamilla went to talk to his pitcher. He's back behind the dish and ready to go again. And the 3-0 is taken. That's ball 4.
4 straight balls. You got to think with the rain coming up and the weather, it's definitely affected the pitching all of a sudden.
So they are loaded now with Kansas Cannons for Chris Opolka, the second baseman. Williams at third, Will Clark at second. Eisenhower just drew the walk, is at first, and Chris Opolka's up there. Still only 1 out in the inning. Kansas trailing 2-1, but a golden opportunity here as Opolka takes a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, the corner guys will play up even with the bag. The middle infielders going to play back at double play depth right now, try to get out of the inning. Still 2-1.
The 0-1 pitch to Opolka, lifted right side, slicing, and that's going to slice and land foul down near the bullpen.
The wind helped push that foul. That would have been probably fair if it would have been 2 innings ago.
That was both wind-aided and had some side spin on it. It was a slicing shot from a right-handed hitter down the right field line. If you look up into the lights in the outfield, you can see the rain coming down. Not a heavy rain, but you can see it blowing diagonally because of the heavy wind that's also blowing out of the north. No balls and 2 strikes with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. High and away, ball 1. 1-2. Opolka had an RBI single in the second inning, responsible for bringing home the Kansas Cannons' only run of the game so far, but he's got a chance to do some more damage with the bases loaded, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch.
Nice stop.
Down and away. Nicely done by Escamilla.
But now you're flirting with danger now. You know, you cannot afford to walk a run in.
Breaking ball by
his fastballs left
Radaha.
him. His breaking balls left him.
Long look in at his catcher for Radaha. Now stretches. Nobody holding the runners on. And Radaha ready and delivers, and this one fouled back over the screen behind the plate.
That's what I'm doing, Stevie. It's the eight hitter in the inning, and your batting order. I'm trying to beat him with a fastball, your best stuff. There's nobody warming up. The tarps are on the bullpen, so you're not warming anything up here. So it's all on you.
Radaha stretches the 2-2. This one is another slicer that's going to head foul down the right side. Very similar location. Lands down near home plate in the right field bullpen area.
As now a rainbow starting to form over the stadium.
So everybody retreats. The infield, by the way, they play even with the bag at the corners. And the middle infielders playing back at normal depth, looking for a ground ball double play that could get the Newton Rebels out of this jam. Bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, Kansas batting, trailing 2-1, but with them loaded and 1 away, an opportunity here to at least tie the score for Kansas. Radaha will go through the stretch. Now Radaha will pitch. Inside.
Barely inside, just missed, but now full count. The runners will be moving on the pitch. No, they won't. 1 out, sorry, my fault. If they did, that'd be Scott Stiles Baseball Academy.
3-2 with 1 out. Bases are loaded. Here comes the pitch. Liner over to first base, a double play. It was a soft liner to Austin Cranack. He caught it waist high, and the runner at first, Eisenhower, was 5 steps away towards second base. So a 3 unassisted double play. And just like that, Newton gets out of the jam.
2 base running errors in 3 innings.
So no runs for Kansas after they had him loaded with 1 away. After 3.5, Newton 2, Kansas 1 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM.
Hey, make it out every Friday of the NBC World Series this year. All college students will get free admission into the NBC World Series and will be offering $3 16-ounce Natty Light cans.
Don't forget tomorrow, it's 60-cent Taco Tuesday at Taco Prano. That's right. Tacos for 60 cents all day long at Taco Prano, 2 Wichita locations. Also, we'd like to thank Faunastock, where you can get $50 off your electrical or plumbing service call. Call 943-HEAT, 943-HEAT, Faunastock, sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. Elon Chamberlain is in, takes the first pitch for a ball from Aaron Bechtel, 1 ball and no strikes. And the second offering comes in down low, a fastball that misses, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the rainbow a little bit more noticeable over the right field fence off to the east. Much gray above us, a little bit of lightning right there. And the count is 3 balls and no strikes now to Elon Chamberlain at the plate. 2 runs on 3 hits for Newton, a run on 5 hits for the Kansas Cannons. And the pitch is away, and there's a 4-pitch walk to Chamberlain. So he will head down to first base, and Scott, the vaunted leadoff walk here to start the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yep, that's not what you want to do, put the leadoff runner on base, especially with some speed right now. Last time, what's bad about that, you got him out on 3 straight pitches on a strikeout. Now you just threw 4 straight balls. So another advantage again for the Newton Rebels.
So Mo Escamilla will step in. He had a base hit his first time up, came around to score as well in the 2nd inning, showing bunt here, but pulls it back as it's taken inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
I love the philosophy of Newton, though. Just put the runners in motion, small ball, make the defense make plays.
Escamilla's a Wichita product, attending Friends. Right-handed batter, the catcher for the Rebels. Showing bunt again, that one way inside, and it hit him. And he'll head down to first base. Well, this is an ominous start to the inning for Aaron Bechtel. A walk, a 4-pitch walk, then he hits a batter a few pitches after that.
Yeah, and we're going to have a little pitching mount visit right now.
So down to second goes Chamberlain. Escamilla is on at first after getting hit by a pitch. First and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now, as Scott said, a conversation out on the hill for the Kansas Cannons. And we just saw a big bolt of lightning off to the northeast above the downtown skyline, directly over the center field fence.
Yeah, if you're at the Garvey Center, take cover.
Center fielder number 25, Ty Coots.
Now you're definitely going to see a bunt here. No outs in the inning.
I just saw the second base umpire look out that way, too. That may have gotten his attention. So, again, very little precipitation, but electricity can stop this thing in a hurry.
I'm sure Kevin Jenks has one of those monitors that monitors the weather and how close the lightning is. So
TK Kuntz is up showing bunt. Good one up the third baseline. Ware's only throw is to first, but the job done. 5-3 on the putout, and now 2 in scoring position for the Rebels. Chamberlain at third, Escamilla at second.
Now is an opportunity for the Rebels to open things up with the 8-hitter coming up, Peyton Cormain.
Cormain reached his last time up. That was an error on the second baseman, Chris Opolka.
Hit a 1-hopper to him, and Polka could not handle the hot 1-hopper to him.
Fairly routine, and that was one of 2 errors committed in that inning by the Cannons. Hot shot to short here, and it's dropped by the shortstop, Will Clark. He'll have to throw to first in time. That was hit so hard, and it was also sinking at about ankle high.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason. Probably had some overspin. It was tough to catch cleanly, but a nice throw to first by Clark to get the runner in time.
Clark did a great job of staying composed and actually looked the runner back at third, who was frozen on the line drive. They hadn't moved yet. Good base running by the Rebels, and had plenty of time to throw the runner out first. 2 outs.
Well, maybe the Kansas Cannons can redeem themselves after coming up empty when they had the bases loaded, 1 out, because Newton threatening here. Pitch to Isaiah Perez. A ball, 1-0. Yep, we saw some lightning this time over toward right center field and beyond the fence. That did look a lot closer than anything else we've seen so far.
Yeah, there's more people fleeing for the tunnels.
1 ball and no strikes to Perez, who grounded out but did pick up an RBI in the second inning. He takes here down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Perez, the number 9 hitter in the order for the Rebels. We'll go back to the top of the order next if he gets aboard. Jace Snodgrass will appear. He's waiting on deck. 2-1 our score. Newton's got the lead. Bottom half of inning number 4. Here comes the pitch. And that one just missed.
Wow, that was close.
Bechtel working the inside edge, and
Bechtel really wanted that pitch.
That's Ben Harlow behind the plate calling balls and strikes, and a lot of the Kansas Cannon fans thought he should have called a strike right there. Instead, the count's 3-0. Runners at second and third, 2 away. Here's the pitch.
Taken all the way, and he called it a strike. Yeah. That was in the other batter's box, wasn't it?
Right. Did look outside from here. We're just off to the third base side of home plate, but yeah.
Here comes the rain again, Stevie. Hard rain.
It is coming down a little bit harder now.
I think the system's kind of starting to move back over us again.
3 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. Big swing and a miss. And yet another full count up coming in this game. We've had a bunch of those so far.
Isaiah Perez, no hits in this tournament so far, but does have an RBI on a sacrifice fly. Trying to get his first hit of the 84th annual NBC tournament.
Just saw some more lightning again. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Newton leading by a run. Now the Rebels trying to add to it as the rain really coming down now. And you can see fans scrambling for cover all around the ballpark. Right-handed batter steps out. Now Perez back in again. Through the stretch goes Bechtel. And the pitch home. Strike 3 called, and down he goes. I think Perez thought that was ball 4. He started heading to first, and then the ball was dropped by the catcher, so it's 2-3 on the strikeout to retire this side. And after Kansas left him loaded the last inning, Newton leaves 2 in scoring position. We go to the 5th. Newton 2, Kansas 1 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
The city's not just built, it's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation, so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
Calling all first responders. Make sure you make it out Monday, July 30th for our First Responders Tribute. All first responders will receive free admission into the NBC World Series, and family members will get in for $5.
1-6-733-1820. Fans, while you're downstairs, avoiding the wet baseball conditions, don't forget to stop by our merchandise tent with a variety of baseball caps and t-shirts. You can show your support for the NBC World Series in style. The tent is sponsored by Fauna-Stock, Wichita's trusted name for heating and air conditioning. Escape the summer heat and stay cool with Fauna-Stock.
Just Right Auto Repair bringing you our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series. We appreciate that. Also, Shire Graphics sponsoring our coverage of this great 84th NBC World Series. On we go now, inning number 5. Newton 2, the Kansas Cannons 1. And it's Jace Snodgrass leading things off, or excuse me, it's for the Kansas Cannons, Kobe Milner leading things off in his second plate appearance. 1 ball and no strikes as he yanks one foul to even it at 1-1. And the rain still coming down pretty hard here as we start the 5th inning.
Yeah, this looks like it could set in for a little while, Steve. It's kind of settled over the stadium right now.
It really has. The clouds are no longer moving. We're just over a solid shield of clouds above us that are producing a lot of moisture. Another one yanked foul.
Here, right off the kneecap of the first base coach, who shakes it off.
I bet that hurts a lot more than he's making it look like.
Yeah, he looked pretty cool, didn't he? Looked like you coaching first base.
He's trying to play it off.
Calm, cool, and, well, I can't say collective.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and lifted. Might have been a broken bat. Shallow center field. Shortstop Peyton Cromain going out. He'll make the catch about 20 feet behind the bag at second. 1 away.
You know, the thing is, with this rain coming down like this, it makes, you try to, use pine tar on the wooden bats, but the pitcher's trying to get the mud off his cleats. They're used to the dry dirt, and now you got a little mud. You got a little more weight on your shoes. Balls hit on the turf. It's hard to handle throwing to first base. So this is when the errors happen.
Nate Crossman steps in, lifts one high on the right side. This is going to be playable for somebody. Chamberlain coming over into foul ground, and the right fielder dives, and did he hold on to it? He did. What a play by Chamberlain in right field, sliding into foul territory over near the pitcher's mound in the bullpen.
That was, excuse my language, but that was one hell of a catch. What a play.
Elon Chamberlain, a long way to run from right field into foul territory, looking up into the rain, too.
And the wind's pushing the ball away from him.
It is.
I mean, it's blowing from left to right.
Connor Hurst steps in now, and he takes one down low. And yet another defensive gem we've seen in this tournament.
Man, I'm telling you, play after play of the games we've done, they must save them for prime time.
Connor Hurst chops one foul. That's the second pitch he's seen, and it's now 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Hurst is 0 for 2. He is flied out and struck out. The rain has softened some, but so has the wind. So like Scott said, it's almost as if the clouds have kind of stopped right above Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and we could get dumped on for a while. 1-1, and a pitch away on a breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. We saw more of a diagonal type blown rain that's almost soft, but straight up and down now. Here's the 2-1 pitch outside for a ball, and the count's now 3-1.
Connor Hurst hitting almost 400 in this tournament so far. Good young ball player.
3 balls and a strike. Radaha through this stretch with nobody on. That's what he does. Both starters do. And there's ball 4 down and in.
Another graduate of the Robin Faulkner Baseball Academy.
So a 2-out walk, and Connor Hurst will head down to first base.
You know, Steve, you've played in weather like this before. You know, you're a baseball guy, and you have to really adjust to the elements.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do about it to get it to stop, so you just have to do everything you can to try to keep things as dry as you can. You'll see fielders wiping their throwing hand on their pants, trying to keep it dry. Pitch chalked foul by Briley Ware over toward the third base dugout.
When you do have weather like this, so as a coach, don't you want to try to make things happen? Maybe steal a base with a guy that you probably wouldn't normally steal just because of the wet conditions, and try to make them make throws and make mistakes?
I think as long as it's nothing drastic, you kind of
Like
play
this.
everything the same. There's a steal attempt, throw down to
That's
second,
exactly
and
what
it
I'm
gets
talking
away on into center field. Runner going to head to third, and Hurst is going to get there on an E2. And maybe that was the wet ball that caused that one to go into center field.
I'm just saying, man, you gotta take chances when stuff like this is going on. The conditions, if you're an aggressive coach, you use this to your advantage, and now you got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
And they just issued a base on balls to Briley Ware. Yep, with 2 outs, go ahead and put him on at first base, a very good hitter, and deal with Braden Kirkpatrick. So first and third.
You don't see that every day. You walk your 3-hitter to get to the 4-hitter, do you?
But Briley Ware has been swinging a red-hot bat. A home run the other night, a single tonight. Braden Kirkpatrick steps in. He's got a double tonight, though, the first pitch to him.
Yeah, that's what surprises me. And the pitcher's really struggling right now, Steve. You see him kicking the wet dirt off of the mound, try to get that dry dirt back. He's sliding off the mound.
1 ball and 1 strike, pitch up high for a ball. You can see the darkness of the mound, too, how much precipitation has gotten there on the pitcher's mound. It's not that shade of dark brown when the game started.
Now to the back of the mound with the cleat scraper there, trying to get the mud off that we talked about. It builds up, and you can't get that push and that drive off the mound. Then things start sailing wide and high if you're a pitcher. Your jersey's wet, your hand's wet, it's cold. Temperature down to 64 degrees already.
Wow. That's a 10-degree drop about from when we started. Off-speed pitch in tight, 1 ball and no strikes to Braden Kirkpatrick, who grounded out to second in the 4th inning, doubled in the 1st. Runners at first and third, 2 away, and he takes in. And there is ball 4, and down to first base he goes. The scoreboard operator is kind of fallen asleep at the wheel. Saw that the other night.
Yeah, we did. We had to knock on the window, wake him up. But now rain's starting to come down hard now. Really coming down hard as they're going to start getting the bullpen ready down there.
There's also going to be some activity down in the
Rebels.
bullpen, but yeah, you're right, Scott. It's starting to come down a little bit harder now. And again, it's more of a straight line wind or rain that's falling just about from straight above, as opposed to diagonally earlier. So there's less wind, but a pretty steady downpour right now. Big stage of the game here. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Kansas. Here's the pitch to Jordan Williams. He takes a strike, 0-1, and this is the 2nd inning in a row that the Kansas Cannons have had the bases loaded. They lined into a double play last inning. We'll see what happens here.
Radaja really trying to buckle down here to make some pitches and make some throws. Now he's got him 0-2. So now Radaja in the driver's seat after walking a couple guys.
That one fouled back and out of play. So it is 0-2. He's got a pitch here he can waste. Doesn't have to give Williams anything real good to hit right now. Radaja through the stretch. Nobody holding the runners on with 2 away, and the 0-2. Indeed, he did try to get
Chase.
Williams fishing way outside, 1-2.
Discipline hitter didn't go for it.
Very critical game for these two teams. They are both 1-0 in pool play. Somebody's going to be in the driver's seat to advance to the championship week next week with a win tonight.
Big at bat here for Williams.
Here's the 1-2, lifted right side out of play. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
As you see the mound starting to get really muddied up now, I'll be surprised if they don't try to come out and groom that a little bit in between innings or do something, because that mound's not going to take much more.
If we keep playing after this half inning.
Yeah, good point.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Starting to feel a little raindrops in the booth now. Liner foul right side.
Hear the winds in our mic. The wind's starting to pick up again. The system has just settled over the stadium. We thought we were in the clear, and then all of a sudden it just has stopped, and it's coming down.
Now, if we have a long stoppage, does this mean we get to go to the beer gardens?
Yeah.
Pavilion?
Yeah. That's
the party
part of the
pavilion?
contract with Kevin Jenks and the NBC World Series.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get to go down there and
I think we should.
all you could eat hot dogs.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. I want that pretzel. Pretzels are great here.
1 ball and 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs. Big pitch in the ball game right here. Here comes the pitch.
Got him on a
strike 3.
curveball.
And the
Leonard Skinner, last of the street survivors, farewell tour. Saturday, September 29th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, the Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, on their final tour ever. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com, the venue box office, or charged by phone. Leonard Skinner, playing in Trust Bank Arena one last time.
Anthony, we are going to have a delay. Welcome back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium, where they are bringing the tarp out to the pitcher's mound. And again, the rest of the field is artificial surface, so that's the only dirt area, but we're going to have a delay as they are tarping the mound and the players for both teams scrambling for their locker rooms as the rain continues to fall. And so we are going to have a delay for a little while. 2-1 is our score. The Newton Rebels over the Kansas Cannons. Scott, it's been a good baseball game, but we're going to have to put things on hold for a while.
Let's do this right now real quick. Let's do the champs giveaway real quick before we go back. Do you want to or do you want to wait? It's up to you.
We can get it out of the way now because it's probably a good idea before it gets too late into the night. So let's do that. We're going to take the first caller. Anthony, stand by back at the studio. The winner of this contest is going to get a free meal at Champs Sports Bar and Grill. That's a hamburger, French fries, and a drink to the first call.
Never Ending Summer, featuring 311 and The Offspring. September 9th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, Gym Class Heroes. Tickets on sale now at selectaseat.com or by phone at 855-755-SEAT, 311, and The Offspring. In concert.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
Good evening and welcome to the ballpark. I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman. Temperatures will feel delightful in the 70s. Of course, temperatures did cool off because of thunderstorms that we had that moved through earlier in the day. Now, there is still a chance for a brief passing shower or thunderstorm this evening. There's been some activity up in north central Kansas that's caught my eye that I'm keeping an eye on for us out here at the ballpark. But as we continue to move through this evening, it looks like those temperatures will be falling down into the 70s, eventually the 60s tonight, and then tomorrow highs only into the middle 80s. And that is definitely a great way to end July. So come on back to the ballpark and enjoy it. Winds, they will be light and the sun will be shining bright. So enjoy your time here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium this evening and have a safe trip home later on.
If we really put everything in our name that we do, it would look like this. Professional mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, telecommunications, civil, transportation, aviation, water, wastewater, energy, land development, planning, field services, survey, geotechnical, materials testing, inspection, 3D scanning, air and water balance, engineering, consultants.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
Guess how much I got this seat for? Only $5. Yes, $5 because of our $5 baseball nights. And our $5 baseball starts Sunday, July 29th and goes till Thursday, August 2nd. And then we will have our final $5 baseball night on Tuesday, August 7th. So make sure to go pick up your $5 baseball vouchers at Goodwill and Quick Trip in the Wichita area.
At Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
Hey, make it out every Friday of the NBC World Series this year. All college students will get free admission into the NBC World Series and will be offering $3 16-ounce Natty Light cans.
Won't you come dream with me now, you're chasing down a beautiful dream. Won't you come follow me now, yeah. Won't you come dream with me now.
Calling all first responders. Make sure you make it out Monday, July 30th for our First Responders Tribute. All first responders will receive free admission into the NBC World Series and family members will get in for $5. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You can find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
Over. The multi-platinum award-winning duo Sugarland back on tour for the first time in 5 years. Still the same 2018 tour. Saturday, August 18th at Entrust Bank Arena. The undeniable distinctive sound of Sugarland with special guest Frankie Ballard and Lindsay L. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com. Get ready for Sugarland.
A city's not just built, it's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
Leonard Skinner, last Last of the Street Survivors Farewell Tour. Saturday, September 29th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, the Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, on their final tour ever. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com, the venue box office, or charged by phone. Leonard Skinner, playing in Trust Bank Arena one last time.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
Never-ending summer featuring 311 and The Offspring. September 9th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest Gym Class Heroes. Tickets on sale now at selectaseat.com or by phone at 855-755-SEAT. 311 and The Offspring in concert.
If we really put everything in our name that we do, it would look like this. Professional mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, telecommunications, civil, transportation, aviation, water, wastewater, energy, land development, planning, field services, survey, geotechnical, materials testing, inspection, 3D scanning, air and water balance, engineering consultants.
Good evening and welcome to the ballpark. I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman. Temperatures will feel delightful in the 70s. Of course, temperatures did cool off because of thunderstorms that we had that moved through earlier in the day. Now, there is still a chance for a brief passing shower or thunderstorm this evening. There's been some activity up in north central Kansas that's caught my eye that I'm keeping an eye on for us out here at the ballpark. But as we continue to move through this evening, it looks like those temperatures will be falling down into the 70s, eventually the 60s tonight, and then tomorrow highs only into the middle 80s. And that is definitely a great way to end July. So come on back to the ballpark and enjoy it. Winds, they will be light and the sun will be shining bright. So enjoy your time here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium this evening and have a safe trip home later on.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
At Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience, and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
Guess how much I got this seat for? Only $5. Yes, $5 because of our $5 baseball nights. And our $5 baseball starts Sunday, July 29th and goes till Thursday, August 2nd. And then we will have our final $5 baseball night on Tuesday, August 7th. So make sure to go pick up your $5 baseball vouchers at Goodwill and Quick Trip in the Wichita area.
Won't you come dream with me now, now? Yeah, chasing down a beautiful dream. Won't you come follow me now, now? Yeah, won't you come dream with me now, now?
Hey, make it out every Friday of the NBC World Series this year. All college students will get free admission into the NBC World Series and will be offering $3 16-ounce Natty Light cans. Calling all first responders. Make sure you make it out Monday, July 30th for our First Responders Tribute. All first responders will receive free admission into the NBC World Series, and family members will get in for $5. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You could find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
The city's not just built, it's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
The wait is over. The multi-platinum award-winning duo Sugarland back on tour for the first time in 5 years. Still the same 2018 tour. Saturday, August 18th at Entrust Bank Arena. The undeniable distinctive sound of Sugarland with special guest Frankie Ballard and Lindsay L. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com. Get ready for Sugarland.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
Last of the Street Survivors Farewell Tour. Saturday, September 29th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, the Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, on their final tour ever. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com, the venue box office, or charge by phone. Leonard Skinner, playing in Trust Bank Arena one last time.
If we really put everything in our name that we do, it would look like this. Professional mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, telecommunications, civil, transportation, aviation, water, wastewater, energy, land development, planning, field services, survey, geotechnical, materials testing, inspection, 3D scanning, air and water balance, engineering consultants.
never-ending summer featuring 311 and The Offspring.
Gotta save my calories for Thursday through Saturday. Tommy is a celebrity in town. The funnel cake champion of the Riverfest.
Pretty awesome. I told you.
And was still standing upright and went out and partied that night. He's a true military man.
And Jesse came back up?
Well, no, when I went home, I made myself.
Wyoming?
We were going to,
Do you want to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming?
and so I didn't eat.
We're in the running.
You know, so.
Trip.
And then I played softball the next morning. But
We just
that
moved to
afternoon, I was like,
light policies and
oh my gosh. Ridiculous. So on
Number 30.
he's catching bullpens, but for Newton, there's a kid who'll be a senior at Clearwater. Then when Santa Barbara comes in, there's a kid from Hayesville. He'll be a junior, and he'll be down heavy shooting over Santa Barbara. Oh, nice.
You guys having fun yet?
No, trying to.
Not when we have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do a radio show.
You can handle it. Just make Doug do all the work.
Doug's on vacation. It's me and Steve this week.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I only gave him a couple rules.
Russ Kessler.
Hey, Russ, Steve Strang.
Steve.
Nice to meet you.
I know you.
Nice.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good.
Now, I told Doug I'd come up and give you guys some shit when
Yeah.
I'm up here.
You say call the game you want. Just make sure you turn the stuff off when you leave.
That's all right.
You're the one I needed to call.
Probably. For what? Carroll football?
Yeah. Would you be interested?
I'll do it.
Color?
The color?
Yeah. Good deal.
I am I'm a 76 grad. Because if I didn't do that, Trail wanted me on the sidelines.
Oh, is that right? To do
So I
what?
told him that just to be on the sidelines. Back when I did color,
Oh, yeah.
or the sideline for KGSO,
Oh,
he would look down at me, and I'd tell him how far,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
stuff like that,
Oh, gotcha.
while I was on the radio,
Oh, okay.
having fun with
Well,
it.
tell him to look up in the booth at you.
No. But no, yeah, I'll help you.
I would love to have you. And Doug
Okay.
said some good things about you. And
Yeah,
I got your number last Friday, and we got sidetracked at work. But
You're
I
fine.
didn't mean to call you. We'd love to have you.
Are you going to want me on the Monday nights also?
I had a chance when
And that's fine.
Son,
Becky and I went to
I do play-by-play for women's
had an
basketball.
interview with Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
When we start basketball, there were nights where I either couldn't make the show at all, or I do it until the midway point of the show. But it's probably better for continuity if I'm just not there at all. On the air at least.
And we can scratch all that out later.
We'll talk to Doug about that.
Well,
and Dusty.
grab Doug and us three can go to dinner or lunch.
Right? And even ask Dusty how he feels about it. If he'd rather not be there at all. Have you done? Are you playing like the also?
I have never done play-by-play, but I've done color and sideline.
Okay.
I started back with Chris Allison.
Yeah.
Chris is, I've been a director of logistics my whole life.
Okay.
And freight, you know.
Uh-huh.
And Chris got me, we're real good friends. I umpired baseball also. So I'm semi-retired now from baseball. I just do high school and a couple of initiation games a year. But I've known Chris Allison from him doing radio in Saline when I've been up there working games. And when he moved down here, it was weird how we met. We met at a function or something, I forget how. He said, Russ, you ever thought about doing radio? Because he said my voice or something. I said, oh no, I'll try anything. Because I don't do football. I don't do anything during football.
Okay.
I used to do basketball.
Right.
And I said, yeah,
My dad, he was born.
so he taught me how to do the sideline.
Well, I'm glad you came in because your number is on my desk. But let me get your, here's my cell number. And let's go ahead and get you plugged in here.
Okay.
This is so he won me. His brother was in the
Yeah, what's your number, Russ?
It's 316, of course, 993
My mom did
8728.
raised almost 90% of the money for the
Yeah, we can. I I really don't like stuck lines. For Carol, I'll do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well,
I don't like the way he treated Blake at the end. But it's neither here nor there. And I talked to Blake a couple weeks ago. And she said, well, if Carol doesn't want you, I'll take it.
So I actually, when we had our state
I think they're doing Caveman and some other games. I don't know what he's doing. But I'd rather do, being alumni, 76 of love.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you came in.
We got married because I love it. Who would you join the auxiliary?
Now, I'm pretty vocal. Also, let people know how I feel.
Have you never done color before?
Oh, I have.
Or just sideline?
Okay. I did quite a bit of side. I've done about 4 games of color.
Okay.
Is all I've done.
Okay.
But Chris, I did one with Chris Allison before he left. He said, Russ, I'll take you any day of the week. And I did 3 or 4 with Blake. When Brad couldn't make it, they brought me up here, up to the box.
And the schedule's great because really
every time we go home, I'm always like
Cool.
4 hours. Yeah. And we'll have a contingency plan if I have to, like last year, I missed the state championship game. I can't miss that, or I'm afraid that they would end up finding somebody else to do it.
Now, shit, who is there? There might be the last weekend in September. I may have to miss that one. I have a wedding to go to in Branson.
Okay.
But they don't start. What's their first day? First week in September, isn't it?
Matter of fact,
31st.
Beyond the fence line where we're at,
well, if
we
it's just
actually
one game,
own
we can make
5
that
lots out there.
31st.
The addition back there,
August 31st.
they decided to pay roads, and it was going to cost us over 15 years.
Okay, that was you.
$85,000. So they just sold it off.
I'm supposed to go to a wedding in Pennsylvania too. That's Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
We played home Memorial Weekend.
Northwest.
That's Northwest too. Let me get with the wife. She's gonna be pissed.
Can you get out Saturday?
The wedding's on Saturday in Pittsburgh. We're gonna leave on Thursday.
My mom even said it was too cold in my house yesterday.
Let me talk.
I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that.
I might get it.
I go,
Okay.
Cause I was out of it at one point. I might have my sister go with me.
What relative is it?
My niece.
Won't put you in the doghouse.
Oh, probably.
Well, good, Russ. What do you
But it's
last year, what was the latest one you were here till? Wasn't there one till like 2 in the morning or?
I think so.
There was one that was crazy late.
Future game till 2 in the morning? Yeah, I think there's rain and the next rain is in the, oh my God.
They had delays and yeah. And they had to change it because you had the major leaguers. So they would play against the winners.
Is it K-E-S-S-L-E-R?
yeah.
Great. Oh, it's good to meet you, man. Thank you for coming in.
That's fine. Yeah,
The celebrities just keep getting bigger and bigger.
I thought you said it's a celebrity.
You mean size? No. Mark Blackham, the owner of the Hutch Monarchs, has presented us. It's unbelievable.
Graciousness with his presence.
I was just going through Facebook and I'm like, where the hell's he at?
This is for me and Hardy. I'm going to say, Hardy, I traded Hardy in for a bigger size. I'm going super size.
This is one of my partners.
Oh, the top. Look at that. I look like a 6-year-old going to see Santa Claus.
You are.
Russ, Mark Blackham.
Oh, we've known each
Oh,
other a long time.
okay, good.
We've known each other for.
He's one of the few umpires that hasn't thrown me out.
How's everybody doing?
Just doing that.
Come on in, we're signing autographs. We got celebrities all over the place here. It's unbelievable.
That breeze feels good.
Doesn't it though? Open that door up.
Now, I got a question for you. Has anybody been to Lawrence Dumont Stadium when it was 63 degrees?
No.
Neither have I.
Not even while I was sober.
Well, I take that back. Wichita played a football game here once. It was an independent league football team. They had the goals from that corner to that corner, a 100-yard field out there.
It was natural grass.
It was natural grass and turf.
The kickers, wherever in, they had to switch their foot or switch their shoe to
Yeah.
what they're kicking in.
Wow. I remember that. I remember how cold it was.
How long was that?
Oh, it's been years.
But he
I bet
wasn't
it's been
sober, or else you could ask him. That's right.
probably 15 years ago.
Thanks, guys.
Have fun.
Look like Sid Hardy.
That dang Facebook's gonna be blowing up tonight.
I'm trading you in for parts for a bigger sized buddy.
Oh, I bet it's on the YouTube channel. YouTube has YouTube.
They can hear everything we're saying.
Yeah, but it's just YouTube. I should say just YouTube. That's funny. So what time
Oh, well.
we're gonna start? 11?
No.
11:30?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the weather should be through now.
Oh, it's
Kim come over?
Yeah, good. She's sitting downstairs. She's getting ready to come up work starting.
Well, I'm telling you right now. Oh, you're open the suite tonight? I said, I'm not. We're done. Let's stay here once again.
Yeah, we leave that door open, let the air flow through.
Is anybody else in there with you? Hey, Shani, you can go sit with Mark and those guys at 5. They're by themselves.
Thank you. That'd be great.
It's just they,
He wants his seat back.
well, no, it's just,
Maybe sometime.
yeah.
Start time is 9:30.
They keep me pretty busy. Whenever you guys need anything, just call.
Good. That'd be good to know that you're there. All right, I'll see you.
Let me work on that first game.
Okay.
Damn it. I didn't think they'd start until after that weekend. No, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go ahead.
Good seeing you, Russ.
You bet.
Pleasure.
I'll holler at you guys.
All right, do that. Good. He's a. I was this close to having to do the Bishop Carroll game this year with Steve. I told him, I said, yeah, Patty!
Yes, he does, Patty.
Patty, will you come pick up these girls? They've eaten everything in the booth tonight. Your daughter's had a half a cow, popcorn, and a whole head of broccoli. Tomato basil, no croutons, and a Bahama Mama.
Hey, that bill,
God, I look like I'm 12 next to Mark. I really do. His palm gets it. Stevie, do you have your phone charger here?
Yes.
I need to plug in just for a minute. Oh, at least you got somebody for the games. I'm gonna come to a couple games, but I want, like, we're gonna go to a couple Northwest games. Plus, you know, Natalie Mark's wife works as Shannon's office manager.
Yeah.
So we gotta. I'm gonna go. I mean, if all else fails, I was gonna do the game. But I'm glad he's gonna.
Yeah.
Russ Kessler is gonna do the game with Steve.
Oh, good. Well, we're done? Or the rest of it? I wasn't listening.
For the Bishop Carroll football season.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. Coaches. The coaches in? The coaches,
High school football season.
I am into, was it the coaches? It takes me a few minutes, though. Considering I didn't listen to anything you said except for, right, honey? I learned what he's saying. And listen to fifth word. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Toby Keith was hammered. I was on the racetrack this afternoon, and Melissa's son was out there, and she had video of it, and he's on, I love play, walk into front door, yesterday's mine, no cover charge, come out, Jesus, Lord. He was a mess. They said he came out that way. They said, listen to this part. Hey, welcome to the Omaha Fair. Oh, you're in El Dorado. Whatever. He welcomed them to the Omaha Fair.
Never thought that commercial would come true, where they say, hey, Chicago, and Detroit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you know, it must be hard sometimes.
Well, he was drunk last year, 2 years ago at the state fair. When me and Hardy, we had a rain delay for 45 minutes. I'm back there with him, and he is drinking Jack Daniels out of the bottle. And he's like, tell them, hey buddy, tell them. So, I ain't going back on. I said, you have to go back on. So when he came to the NBC World Series,
oh, that's right, yeah.
I got him on Prairie News, him and Roger Clemens. I go, remember, you don't remember this, but I was a slap dick that you sorry, Patty! I was a slap dick you yelled at. And he goes, I don't remember, but I probably did.
Lord. I think it's going to be the most entertaining. We did that last year, remember?
What's that?
No food.
Oh.
And he was in here. I mean, up a storm.
I was?
About.
Oh, that's right. Tim Slack. He came in here. I told you. It says right here. Really? So there was more to that. He's the most insecure person in the world. He's got fired a million times.
sorry in June about my son wanted to do bad boy, and he's like, "Oh, I don't work for NBC, I work for the Lions."
I'm going to take this back to the water. Does anybody want to water?
Welcome back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Steve Strain, Scott Stiles with you as the tarp has been removed from the pitcher's mound. And we're about ready to go after a rain delay here at Lawrence Dumont in this fourth day of pool play, second game for the Newton Rebels and the Kansas Cannons. Newton's got the lead by the score of 2-1, and the Rebels will be coming to bat here in the bottom of the fifth inning after the rain. So it was a rain that we could see moving in, not just on radar, but off to the northwest. It came, stayed, sat for a while, got a little windy and cool. We had some fun. Temperature right now, Scott, is 63 degrees.
Unbelievable. Didn't went around 78 when we started tonight, Steve?
Yeah.
And now, plus our good friend Tommy G's in the house here tonight with us as well. And, you know, as big of a guy as Tommy is, he's even cold. So it's really dropped off immensely. But the ball players excited, back out warming up right now. I still think we're in for a heck of a game tonight.
Well, it's been one so far. Both teams have had some opportunities, particularly Kansas, who had the bases loaded in both the fourth and the fifth innings and have nothing to show for in either of those innings. Their only run scored in the second inning, while Newton has single runs in the first and second. So 3 runs combined in the first 2 innings and 0 since. However, these teams have had their chances. Now, we're going to the bottom of the fifth inning, so the Kansas Cannons, who are the visiting team, taking the field right now. Fans coming back after they took shelter as well when the rains came, and we're about set for some baseball.
Be interesting to see how the pitchers respond, if they replace the pitchers, because we had a pretty good break in the action there. And, you know, you sit around and it's cold, you get a little stiff. Opportunity to bring somebody fresh in they haven't seen yet. And so it'll be interesting to see how long these pitchers, if they do come back out, how long they last, or if they decide to change pitchers.
The Kansas Cannons look like they've already changed pitchers. Unfortunately, it looks like a number 12, if I'm seeing it right, and I don't see a 12 on their roster. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out who that is. But Kansas is already going to a different pitcher for sure.
Last name is Reynolds. That's all I have on my lineup sheet here. Last name is Reynolds.
Trevin Reynolds, who's listed as an outfielder. That's exactly right. Trevin Reynolds listed as an outfielder. And there it is. That's the reason I couldn't find him. I was looking on their pitching roster for a number 12, and he's not there. He's listed as an outfielder, but Trevin Reynolds it is. So he is the right-handed pitcher out of Las Vegas. So Andrew Bechtel, who got into a little bit of trouble early, still only gave up 3 hits. But one of the reasons, though, that Newton's got 2 runs is the Kansas Cannons have committed 2 errors. Each team has committed 2 errors. So we've had 8 combined hits, but 4 combined errors in the game. And Newton's leading by the score of 2-1. So when Newton takes the plate here to start the bottom of the fifth inning, it'll be Jace Snodgrass that'll lead it off. And he is the leadoff hitter in their order. So Newton gets to go straight off the top of the order to start the bottom half of inning number 5.
Let's recap real quick, Steve, what happened before the rain delay came. A bases loaded situation, and they got out of the deal. So very, very important.
Yeah, Kansas had him loaded with 1 out in the 4th inning, lined into a double play, then had him loaded with 2 outs in the 5th and couldn't get anybody home. Here we go. Snodgrass is in, and the first pitch from Trevin Reynolds is taken for a strike, and it's 0-1 to Snodgrass. Don't have an official length of the rain delay, but it feels like it was probably about 35 minutes or so.
Every bit of
35
that.
or 40
but we had some
minutes.
great entertainment on during it. The teams got together, played a little bumper ball with the I don't know what you call those beach ball things, and so it was fun. The fans stayed entertained underneath the corridor.
1 ball, 1 strike to Snodgrass, and Reynolds delivers low and away. Trevin Reynolds is from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's attending Colorado Mesa State University out in western Colorado. Ready and delivers, and the pitch swung on and on the fists, muscled out toward short. Charging in is going to be Will Clark. Throws to first, throws low, and it gets away from the first baseman, Williams, not far. And on at first base is Jay Snodgrass. We'll see if that's a hit or an error.
I'm going to tell you right now, if it's field on a dry thing, I know they're going to give him a hit probably, but Will Clark makes that play. But the field turf is wet. You know, he had to get rid of it quickly. I'm telling you right now, that rain and the wet turf had effect on that because Will Clark makes that play on a dry day.
It was indeed a base hit,
And that's the 4th of the game for the Newton Rebels. And Newton now, Scott, has had their leadoff batter aboard in every inning except the 3rd. So 4th time in 5 innings they've had their leadoff batter aboard. And Jay Snodgrass does it here with a leadoff single.
Little meeting taking place right now with the third base coach. Taking place right now with Landon Irway. Irway is going to be probably bunting here. We've seen it happen almost every time they get their leading runner on, that the Rebels put the ball in play with small ball.
And he went down to the third base coach and talked to him too, which could even be more of an indication that they were getting something on. He's squaring now. Third baseman Ware charging in. It's a bunt over toward the first base side. A good one. They're going to go to second. They got the force. The bunt was too hard, and Reynolds fielded out of the pitcher's mound and whipped around and through to second.
Great communication by the third baseman. He was yelling 2-2-2 all the way, communicating with the pitcher. Great coverage by the shortstop to get the lead runner. Now with one out, still in the same position with a runner on first.
So the putout goes 1-6 at second base. Irway reaches on the fielder's choice, and Austin Kranak about to step up to the plate.
Kranak, a good-sized young man coming to the plate. Batting third in the order, the first baseman.
Couple of flyouts tonight for him, one to first and one to right.
Scored a couple runs in this tournament already.
Big swing and a miss. On top of that one, 0-1. Both of his fly balls, Scott, interestingly enough, have been to the right side to first base and to right field. So pretty efficient at hitting the other way as well. Big, tall, right-handed hitter.
And the right fielder playing really short for a guy that gets around on the ball late and the wind pushing it towards that corner. If he gets around late again and gets something, it could go over his head. Playing very shallow in right field defensively for the Kansas Cannons.
The 0-1 comes inside. The count's now 1-1 strike. 2-1 our score. Newton batting, leading by a run. Bottom of the 5th inning. 1 strike to Austin Kranak with a runner at first and 1 away. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside edge. And the count's now 1 strikes. Don't know what the deal is with the radar gun.
I was just going to say the same thing.
We're getting the throw from the catcher back to the pitcher, but not the pitch home.
Must be like me. Throw it so hard you can't read it.
The 1-2 lifted foul over toward the first base dugout. Bo Eisenhower, the catcher, and the first baseman Williams is over, and it's Jordan Williams that makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
It's a big out right there. Big out.
So 2 outs for Newton with a runner at first base, and Dylan Brooks will step up. Don't forget you can get $50 off any electrical or plumbing service call at Faunastock. Call 943-HEAT, 943-HEAT, and get $50 off any service call for electrical or plumbing at Faunastock, who helps bring you NBC Baseball.
Wouldn't be surprised they put the runner in motion here with 2 outs, try to make something happen.
Dylan Brooks in, left-handed batter, slices one left side into the red seats above the third base dugout. Ball pinballs around, 0-1. Brooks is 1 for 2, an RBI single in the first inning. He struck out in the third. Runner at first, 2 away. Newton batting, leading 2-1. Reynolds stretches, delivers. One hopper right back to Reynolds on the hill. He'll toss it over to first, underhand, and the side retired. So a leadoff base hit for the Newton Rebels, but no damage done. After 5 innings, Newton 2, Kansas 1 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM. Ready for the 6th inning at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. 2-1 is our score. The Kansas Cannons about to come up to the plate trailing the Newton Rebels, each team with a 1-0 record in pool play. There's still one more game tonight that now certainly is going to finish well past midnight, and it's including a local team. The Hutch Monarchs will be in action tonight as they'll take on the Colorado Cyclones. That game was scheduled to start at 9:30, but that is 5 minutes ago, so that's not going to happen. All right, Will Clark, the shortstop for the Cannons, will step in. And here we go. And it looks like the Newton Rebels are going with the same pitcher that started the game. Garrett Ridaha is still out there after the rain delay. Will Clark, first pitch swings and sends one to center field. TK Kuntz is there, and he'll make the catch. And there's one away.
From a fan's perspective, I don't think they know how deep this park really can get until you see a fly ball go up like that just right there.
Yeah, that was well struck, but TK Kuntz barely had to move. This is Tommy Gallegos, big sports fan here locally and an NBC fan, joining us in the booth. Thanks for stopping by, Tommy.
Thanks, Steve.
Now, had a nice little rain delay and a chance to shoot the breeze for a little bit, no pun intended, but turned out to be a pretty nice night temperature-wise and everything.
Very nice tonight, sitting at 63 degrees right now. You can't beat this any night.
Bob Eisenhower is in, and the buzzer just went off, and Eisenhower wasn't ready to approach the plate, so he's got a one-strike count on him without seeing a pitch. The first pitch he does see, he fouls off, and it's 0-2. For those of you who don't know, there is a timer in between pitches where you have to, if you're the pitcher, be ready to throw, or if you're the hitter, you have to be in the batter's box ready to go. It's 20 seconds between pitches. And if you're a batter and like Eisenhower, you're not ready in the box when that buzzer goes off, it's a strike automatically. Pitches up high to Eisenhower. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You got to like that as a fan, Tommy. Keeps the play moving along.
It does, and if you pay attention, you'll see that they've started it in the minor leagues. They did it over spring training. See if it's going to fit the major leagues.
Eisenhower swung on, bouncing ball out to short, fielded by the shortstop, Cromain. His throw low to first. It gets away over to the backstop, and down to second base goes Eisenhower on what will be likely a 2-base throwing error on the shortstop. And that's the 3rd error of the game on Newton, the 5th error combined in the game between these two teams. Boy, we're seeing some great defensive play, but then at times you see plays like that. You get a little bit of everything.
Yes, you do. I think one of the big things for these teams coming in here is they haven't played on this kind of surface during their summer leagues.
Does make a big difference. Chris Opolka steps in now, the second baseman. Runner at second, 1 away. That's the tying run of the game for Kansas here in the top of the 6th inning. Trailing 2-1, Opolka takes in tight for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 games already in the books today, including the Colorado Sox, who are winner earlier over the GPS Texas team. Bouncing ball up the middle, right over the bag, and misplayed it short by Cormain again. He juggled that one. I'm not sure if he would have had time to get to first. No, it's a base hit. So indeed, that's not an error, as Cormain didn't field it cleanly. And Scott, Tommy, talked about before the rain how that could affect things with the handling of the ball, slipping, and that might have been a case right there.
No doubt about it, Steve.
So on at first base is going to be Chris Opolka on the base hit. Down to third base goes Bob Eisenhower. So first and third with 1 away, and Kobe Milner is in. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. The number 9 hitter in the Cannons lineup is 0 for 2. He's grounded out, and he is flied out to short. Runners get their leads. Runner at first being held on. This one is fisted foul down the third base side. No balls and 2 strikes, the count to Kobe Milner.
Coming out here, you see some of the great vantage points to the field. I know sitting on the first base side, you always think it's going to be how close it is for a foul ball, but then you really see it when it's about 2-3 feet wide of the line.
0-2, and this one down and in. Strike 3 called. Wow. Milner thought it was down and in. I sure thought it was down and in. But the home plate umpire, Ben Harlow, rings up Milner, and down he goes looking. What'd you think of that one, Tommy? No opinion?
No,
no comment?
I honestly wasn't paying attention there, my fault.
That looked like it was down and in, but oh well, here we go. Nate Crossman back to the top of the order for the Kansas Cannons. Boy, this would be tough for Kansas after having them loaded in the last inning. There goes the runner from first. There'll be no throw to second base with another runner down at third. Probably a wise move by Mo Escamilla. But getting back to the point I mentioned a while ago, Kansas had them loaded with 1 out, 2 innings to go, couldn't score anything. Had them loaded with 2 outs in the 5th inning and came up empty. Now they've got second and third with 2 away. And this would be more runners stranded in scoring position if the Cannons can't bring them home. 1 ball and no strikes to Nate Crossman. And here comes the pitch. Outside for a ball, and it's 2-0.
These are the small things right here. As you said earlier, the winner here will be in the driver's seat in their pool play. So they need to get a runner crossed.
Every pitch, every at-bat right now critical because it's huge to go up 2-0 instead of 1-1. There's a pitch for a strike at 81 miles an hour. 2 balls and a strike. The count to Nate Crossman. Crossman 0 for 3. He is struck out, grounded out, and flown out as well. The wind is still blowing out of the north end from left field. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Took something off, a soft liner to second, scooped up by Irway. He'll have to throw to first and does in time. Nice.
Good evening and welcome to the ballpark. I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman. Temperatures will feel delightful in the 70s. Of course, temperatures did cool off because of thunderstorms that we had that moved through earlier in the day. Now, there is still a chance for a brief passing shower or thunderstorm this evening. There's been some activity up in north central Kansas that's caught my eye that I'm keeping an eye on for us out here at the ballpark. But as we continue to move through this evening, it looks like those temperatures will be falling down into the 70s, eventually the 60s tonight, and then tomorrow highs only into the middle 80s. And that is definitely a great way to end July. So come on back to the ballpark and enjoy it. Winds, they will be light and the sun will be shining bright. So enjoy your time here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium this evening and have a safe trip home later on.
Do what? Okay. Now, what do you do for the Hutch team? Are you their radio guy?
I'm a public address now.
Okay, gotcha.
Stats.
That's right.
But I do play-by-play for the Blue Dragon.
Okay. On to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 the score. The Newton Rebels with the lead over the Kansas Cannons. Newton getting set to come back up to the plate, though, in the bottom of inning number 6. Elon Chamberlain will lead off. He'll be followed by Mo Escamilla and TK Coons. 5, 6, and 7 for the Rebels. In a good one tonight, 2-1 is our score, involving 2 local teams this game tonight. We had 2 locals and a good game locked up in our feature game last night. Escamilla first pitch swinging and lines one right to second. Chris Opolka is there to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away. Well, we're joined in the booth now by another guest, and it's Steve Carpenter, who works at Hutchinson Community College, but also works for the Hutch Monarchs, who are going to play in our what we thought was 9:30 game. Going to be much later than that, though, is Mo Escamilla in from the right side. Takes a ball on the inside edge, 1-0. Well, Steve, hope you don't have to be anywhere early tomorrow.
I'll have an 8 a.m. Photo shoot with our soccer team, but that's nothing unusual. I'm used to working 18-hour days.
You sports information directors are good about that for sure. Fastball outside edge, a strike to Escamilla, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you got to be excited. Your Monarchs off to a good start in this tournament.
Yeah, they played the San Diego Rain really well, struck the ball really well. They've been kind of in a slump of sorts offensively, but it's good to see them back going again. They had the 12-run output the other night, 2 3-run home runs, and looking forward to tonight.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Escamilla, who has been hit by a pitch and singled, so he's 1 for 1, and he swings and rips this one straight back to the screen. That one hit 90 miles an hour on the radar gun, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. I wonder if that was after the foul ball was sent back to the screen, or if that actually was the live pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the pitch to Escamilla, swung on ground ball over to third, fielded by Ware. He'll throw to first in time, and there's a quick 5-3 put out for 2 away. The play on this field, though, Steve, all turf, is completely different. The complexion of the game on this fast surface.
It really is. There are true rolls. There's really no bad hops. You don't hear very many bad hop singles off this turf. I see this turf a lot in the spring during the Region 6 tournament, and it's a well-kept field. There's really there's a crown on it. I heard you and Scott talking about it earlier this evening on the way down K96. But it's truly a really good surface. And for this 2 weeks with rain, you've got to be able to get rain delays turned around quick, and they did tonight.
TK Kuntz, first pitch a strike, takes a ball down and away there. 1 ball and 1 strike to him. He is 0 for 1, grounding out to third back in the 4th inning. Had a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd that helped move runners over and eventually score a run for his Rebels. The 1-1 down low, 2 balls and a strike. Well, it's great to see Hutch in this tournament. So many local teams, and I know that the Monarchs glad to be a part of this. Just a great atmosphere around Wichita in this ballpark for this great tournament. Here comes the 2-1 and the pitch down low, but it's a lot of fun for them to be in, I'm sure.
It really is. This is the 10th anniversary or the 10th year for Monarchs baseball. This is our 7th appearance in the NBC. So, that's pretty good batting average, 7 out of every 10 years to get here. And the whole city gets excited for the Monarchs. We draw between 200 and 600 people a game. It's been good that Mark and Kim Black has been able to bring the team in.
There's ball 4 to Kuntz. He'll trot back down to first base. So with 2 outs, a runner at first base for the Newton Rebels. Peyton Cormain will step in now with Newton leading 2-1, bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to Cormain, a big rip at that one, and he sends it foul over to the right side and out of play. Bounces around in the seats. 0-1 to Cormain.
Cormain must be one of the pickups. He wasn't on the roster for the Mid-Kansas qualifier. Newton did pick up a lot of players heading into that qualifier, so this roster got pretty well turned over right before postseason.
0-1 through the stretch. Goes Reynolds, fires home on a strike, and it's 0-2. And that's not uncommon. You can do that in this World Series. Your rosters don't have to be turned in and complete right up until I think it's a day or two before the game. If
Correct.
Even that might even be later than that. But so teams can get some late additions who can make an impact. Here's the 0-2, chopped foul at the plate, and that's especially important for pitching when you're playing 2 weeks, or you're hoping to play 2 weeks in a tournament. You need to be loaded with a lot of pitchers.
Pitching depth is always the key. Doesn't matter the level, the season you're in. If you have good and deep pitching, you're going to be able to stay in a lot of games and make deep postseason runs like these teams are hoping to.
No balls and 2 strikes, the count to Peyton Cormain. Right-handed batter, Reynolds through the stretch. Now time is called. And we're back in again. Cormain reached on an error in the 2nd inning, and he also grounded to short, so he's 0 for 2. 5 errors in this game tonight as the pitch just a bit outside. Steve, the count is now 1-2. We've talked a lot about the errors in this game and how maybe it's the wet ball and such, but we've already seen an error since we resumed play. What about nerves? Do you think that also plays a role? Because it's not just this game. We've seen quite a few defensive miscues. First, we'll take the 3-2 pitch and maybe have to finish this thought after a catch, because this is a fly ball to right field. Milner is there, makes the catch, side retired. So a 2-out walk, but that's all the noise for Newton in the bottom of the 6th inning. We go to the 7th, and the score is the Newton Rebels 2, the Kansas Cannons 1 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM.
The city's not just built, it's grown to the needs of people. You make the infrastructure, the muscle, bone, and circulation so natural to the body of the city that you almost forget they're even there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You can find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
Join us every Tuesday here at the NBC World Series for our Super Tuesdays. You can relish in a hot dog and a soda for just $2 at our concession stand.
Our thanks to Midwest Kia and Rustiek Ford helping sponsor our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series, where we are Watching a good one tonight, albeit delayed by rain, but it's Newton 2, the Kansas Cannons 1 as we move to inning number 7. Steve Strain and Scott Stiles here tonight from Lawrence Dumont, although Scott taking a break, and we've got our friend Steve Carpenter from Hutch Community College who's joining us here in the booth right now before we start the 7th inning. And Steve, I was bringing up a point about the errors we've seen tonight, and while we've seen some great defensive plays, we had some of the game I did last night, Derby and Mulvane. Also seen a lot of errors, and I was just asking before the break about the nerves. You're close to this Hutch team. Have you heard any guys talk about any of that going on? Our
guys are pretty mild-mannered. They don't get excited about a whole lot. They just go out and play the game like they're supposed to. Sometimes you wonder if we wanted to play with more emotion. As far as this game goes, there's a lot riding on this. First place in the pool is riding on this. I know Newton's 2-0. I believe the Cannons are 2-0. So it's a big deal for both of these teams because the pool and the chance to move on to championship week are at stake.
Connor Hurst in and takes the very first pitch on the leg. He's not happy about that. Throws his batting glove off and his padding, and down to first base he goes. Well, when the score's 2-1 and you're ahead, that's not a purpose pitch right there. Hurst a little bit upset, but I think he'll realize that that's not the intent of the pitcher there.
Might have been more where it got him. That kind of rode in on him, and he was a little bit late to react. So it was, I think it might have been more where he got him. He ought to be happy to be at first. He represents the tying run as this game enters the final 3 innings.
Matt Hunt is the pitcher for Newton. We don't have him on our roster, and he came in the last inning right after the rain delay. So it's Matt Hunt who is out there for his 2nd inning of work. He hit the first batter of this inning, Connor Hurst, who's at first. He delivers to Briley Ware a strike, 0-1 to Ware.
Another new addition to the roster for the World Series for the Rebels. Again, he wasn't on the regional roster or the regular season roster.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. He's not on the roster we had when this tournament started, and that's one of the first times I think we've seen a player who's not on the opening tournament roster even, so he may have just arrived even after Friday for all we know. No balls and 2 strikes. He is ahead in the count to Briley Ware. Very good hitter. And Ware takes a big rip and fouls one out of play, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ware.
Briley Ware, his junior year at Sedgwick, was just a .262 hitter. Wasn't on anybody's radar. Neosho County picked him up and turned him into a National Player of the Year a couple of years ago. Then he was also the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year last year, so he's come a very long way in a very short time.
Takes one up high for a ball, 1-2. He had a big blast here the other night in the Cannons' victory over the Colorado Sox, 7-1, a homer there. Had a single in the first inning tonight, but he was thrown out later in the inning trying to score on a base hit by Braden Kirkpatrick, and he was out by literally a good 40 feet or so, and it was probably not as much on him, but probably ill-advised to send him in that situation for where the ball was down in the left field corner. Pitch outside for a ball, 76 miles an hour. The count's even to Ware, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The one thing about Briley Ware, he's one of those kids that will think his way through a game. He knows the game of baseball very well, a student of the game, and he can really think his way through situations.
2-2, runner at first, nobody out. Top of the 7th inning, the pitch to Ware, sliced one foul out of play right side.
Right now he's got the idea, anything away, he's going to try to go the opposite field with it. Briley can hit to all parts of the field with good power all the way around, but right now he's just trying to plug a gap and move the runner up.
And Elon Chamberlain in right field is playing very far off the line, too. So if you can scoot one down that way, it's going to roll for a long, long time. Pitch is down in the dirt. Good stop by Escamilla. And the count's now full at 3-2. Well, let's see what they do with Connor Hurst, the Cannons, because he stole a base his last trip to the base paths. With the count 3 balls and 2 strikes and a good contact hitter up there, you wonder if they might try to get the wheels in motion here with a hit and run.
Be a good opportunity to. Briley, very good going the other way.
Getting his lead is Hurst. He's not going. The pitch outside, ball 4, and Ware is on at first base. So yet again, opportunities abound for the Kansas Cannons, but now you go back 3 innings in a row. They've stranded multiple runners in scoring position. Had him loaded with 1 out in the 4th inning, but in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, all goose eggs. And here we are now in the 7th. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and still a one-run game.
On the way down, I was listening to you. You know, they have already left a small village on base. Right now, the Cannons are just waiting for that one big hit, and the longer it goes, the harder it becomes.
Braden Kirkpatrick, the cleanup hitter, is showing bunt, but pulls this one back on a pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
With the first baseman crashing really hard, you really want to drag that butt down to the third base side and make the third baseman commit to either fielding it or having the pitcher field it.
Both corners they inch in, and this one is up the third base line, but foul on the bunt, so the count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's really Austin Kranak that's coming in at first, charging a lot more aggressively. Perez at third is a few steps inside the bag and not really going anywhere, but he's also got to be mindful of a runner coming his way on a bunt.
Right, middle infield or double play depth, so he's got basically the whole left side of the infield.
The 1-1, he showed bunt but pulled it back for a strike. I think he thought that was high. And the count's 1-2, and that might well take care of the bunt opportunity here. Kirkpatrick has been on base twice. He doubled in the first inning and walked in the 5th. He also has a ground out to second base. And now we've got a balk. A balk call out on the hill for Matt Hunt, and that puts 2 in scoring position.
He was on the rubber, and he showed a set move. Then he made another move, and that was clearly a balk. That was a great call. Once you're on and once you make the first move, then you are set. You have to go to a base or come home. You can't make a false second move, and that's exactly what he did.
So Hurst to third, Ware to second with nobody out. The infield comes in. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down and away. Did he go? They will appeal, and he did go around. And now the Kansas Cannons fans and coaching staff irate. Their coach from third base is going to come argue with the field umpire, and the home umpire is saying, no, get back to your box.
Well, you can't argue balls and strikes. I'm going to side with the Cannons on that one. I thought he checked his swing. So that's a big first out for the Rebels, and they've been living on the edge all night.
So things getting a little testy here, and you know the frustration mounting with each at bat where they can't move another runner around for the Cannons. And what still is a one-run game, it's been that way since the 2nd. We're in the 7th now, but they keep wasting opportunities to move runners home. And there was one, but again, as Steve said, that's only the first out of the inning. Here's Jordan Williams, the first baseman, with the infield still in. Hunt will work from the windup and deliver, and the pitch lifted, shallow right center field. Chamberlain coming on. He's got a long way to go, and he won't get there. And the run will score from third, and we are finally tied at 2.
Well, with the infield drawn in, Steve, that allowed that little blooper to right field to fall. Right fielder was playing shallow. He lost it in the lights. He never did see it. Never got a good read at all. But the only reason that play worked is because the infield was drawn in, and finally the Cannons get a big hit.
And as far as Chamberlain was playing depth-wise, I'm not sure if he would have gotten there anyway, but you could clearly see he did lose it in the lights nonetheless. So finally we are tied at 2. On the 7th hit of the game for Kansas, runner leaving first. He will steal second, and no throwdown, a strike to Will Clark. But once again, the Kansas have eliminated the possibility of a double play. The Cannons, excuse me.
And with that stolen base, that brings the infield in.
And another strike to Will Clark at the plate. So a lot happening right here. Infield in, second and third again. 1 out in the inning. We're starting all over, tied at 2. Good one tonight, Kansas and Newton.
With a wet turf, that ball is going to scoot through there even faster.
Bouncing ball up the third base line. This is not going to go foul, and there will be no throw to first on an infield base hit for Will Clark, and they're loaded with 1 away.
That was a smart play by Thompson just to eat the ball. He wasn't going to get the runner at first. Tried to deke the runner at third, but that saved a run. Cannons have a chance to really make a move here in the top of the 7th with the bases loaded once again.
You got double barrel action going on down in the Newton bullpen all of a sudden as Matt Hunt came on in the last inning and did leave 2 in scoring position, so he was a little shaky there. Really shaky here in the 7th where Kansas has tied this score at 2 apiece.
You got a righty and a lefty working in the Newton pen. The right-hander is a hard-throwing kid. right now I can't remember his name from the regional tournament, but he had a save and got Newton out of some really key jams during the regional qualifier that got the Rebels here to Wichita.
Bob Eisenhower about to step up to the plate for Kansas, and he went down to third base to speak to his coach. And now he is up and ready to go. So here we go. Ware at third, Williams at second, Clark at first. They're loaded for the Kansas Cannons. And their catcher, Bob Eisenhower, is in a 2-2 tie, top of the seventh, one away. Hunt ready and delivers. And the pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike. Much needed by Hunt, 0-1. Yep. Even with the bag at the corners are the infielders. They look for the double play up the middle. Nobody, though, holding any of the runners on with one away. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He showed bunt there, pulled it back for a strike. I don't know if that was intention or if he just wanted to show to get the Newton infield guessing. With the bases loaded, that would have been something.
Bases loaded. That would have been interesting trying to drop a bunt down in this situation.
Eisenhower hitless tonight in 3 plate attempts. Here's the 0-2 way outside. Escamilla, the catcher, had to reach way over to the left-handed batter's box. Kind of came up gimpy when he stood up off of his knees to throw back to the pitcher as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Eisenhower.
When Escamilla lunged out, he kind of got his cleat caught down there and it twisted his ankle a bit. So he's lucky to come up with that ball.
Through the wind goes Hunt. Here comes the 1-2. Taken just inside. That one was close, and the count even 2-2.
Boy, as a batter, I don't know how you lay off a pitch like that. That is borderline, but it's fortunate for him that Hunt hasn't been all that close to the zone. He's been a little bit erratic. The pitcher in that situation will not get a borderline pitch.
Here's the 2-2 pitch now with the bases loaded, lifted, right side slicing, heading toward the bullpen. No one's going to catch this one, and it lands down near the bullpen mound, and the count still 2-2. 2-2 is our score. Top of the 7th inning. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Kansas Cannons. 2 runs, just 4 hits for Newton. 5 combined errors in the game, 3 of them committed by the Newton Rebels. Matt Hunt through the windup again with the bases loaded. And here comes the pitch. High and tight for a ball, and it's full at 3-2.
Now this is kind of a big statement game for both teams. They used to both be in the KCLB. And then several teams, including Newton and the Monarchs and Cheney, got out to form the Sunflower League. So this one's not only for trying to go on, but for bragging rights for both leagues.
Here's the 3-2, high ball 4, and that one was close as well. Hunt thought it was there at the letters. It was over, but upstairs. A bases loaded walk, and Kansas has taken the lead, and that will do it for Matt Hunt as we are about to have a pitching change. Boy, Steve, that one was another close pitch.
I thought it was up. Yeah. Again, Hunt really struggled with his command, and if you're struggling, you're not going to get borderline pitches from umpires. So it could have been right on the letters, but with him struggling, he's not going to get the call. Thus, ball 4. Now the Cannons have the lead.
So Hunt will exit. He's still responsible for all 3 runners on base, pitching change being made, and a timeout on the field. The score at the top of the 7th inning, the Kansas Cannons 3, the Newton Rebels 2 with a pitching change. This is the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Now pitching for the Kansas Cannons, number 44, Chase Millier.
That's Padilla.
Ruben Portillo.
Yeah, that's Portillo, yeah.
Third pitcher of the game for the Newton Rebels is Ruben Portillo, a big right-handed pitcher out of Thornton, Kansas, 6 feet, 200 pounds, from Eastern Arizona Community College, where he's a sophomore. And you want to talk about a leveraged situation for an offense. This is it. Steve Carpenter, who's my color analyst right now. Scott Stiles taking a break, but bases loaded for the Rebels. 1 out here in the inning.
Portillo is a hard-throwing kid. He threw really well in the regional in Hutchinson last week, but he had one game where he got rocked pretty well. The key to Portillo, if he's getting late movement on the fastball, he's very tough, but the one night he got rocked, his fastball was as flat as can be, and he had a couple leave the yard on him. So he's got a chance to really keep Newton in the game right now. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the Cannons have scored 2 to take the lead on a bloop single and a bases loaded walk. So right now, this game is in the hands of Portillo.
Portillo, this past season at Eastern Arizona, appeared in just a small handful of games, 15 of them, so less than a third. No record for them. He's going to face Chris Opolka first here in the inning. So the bases loaded again with Kansas Cannons, who have taken a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 7th inning with 1 away. Portillo to Opolka, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, and the first pitch is in there for a strike at 82. 0-1. Nice night for Opolka, the second baseman, out of the 8 spot for the Cannons with a couple of singles. He's 2 for 3. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one just misses in. And I think Portillo, from his body language, felt like he might have gotten squeezed there as well. That one was close, but in tight. 1-1. He works from the windup with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yes, it is. He broke contact on the rubber. That's a clear balk.
He had his hand in his glove, then disengaged the hand. No doubt about it, a balk call, the second of the inning. And a run scores for Kansas. They lead now 4-2.
And that'll force the infield in for the Rebels at all 4 positions.
So now the 1-1 pitch outside for a ball. And the count's now 2 balls and a strike. So Williams scored the 4th run of the game for Kansas. Will Clark is down at 3rd. And at 2nd is Bob Eisenhower. 2 balls and a strike, the pitch to Opolka. And that gets away back to the backstop. Runner coming home, the throw is late. And another run scores for the Cannons on a wild pitch, and it's 5-2.
That one might be scored a pass ball. Escamilla should have had that. So that one might get scored a pass ball. I would score it a pass ball.
And we'll see what officials score, and Mike Dean flashes if he does. Nonetheless, the run is home. 3 here in the inning for the Cannons, who lead now 4-2. And the pitch to Opolka, low and away, and things have gone awry here for pitchers for Newton. There's ball 4, and down to first base goes Opolka, although that does set up the possibility of a double play. Not the worst thing in the world there for Newton.
Nope, they're going to make another pitching change and bring in the left-hander. So the Rebels kind of feel this one slipping away, and they're going to try to do anything to stop the bleeding.
Boy, you know they've got to hate the fact that rain came, Steve, because they had a pitcher that was cruising along pretty well in Garrett Radaha, and then the rains come, and what's happened since we resumed, they've now burned 3 pitchers in their bullpen.
Well, that's the key thing out of a rain delay. In 30 minutes or whatever it was, you're going to lose your starting pitcher, and if he's going full guns like Radaja was, it's really a bad break for Newton. But that's where the bullpen has to step up. And Newton's bullpen hasn't been great all year, even with the added presence they've had over the last couple of weeks. Newton's bullpen's probably been the weakest point of their team in 2018. So right now they've got to keep it here. They've still got three at-bats to go. They battle offensively, so they're still in this game.
Cale Russell is the new pitcher for the Newton Rebels. He is through pitching collegiately. He was at Oklahoma Christian, but you have to go all the way back to 2015 where he was a senior. So his last action was a few years ago. But he is going through some warm-up tosses now. But a 3 spot for the Kansas Cannons here in the inning, and they forged ahead 4-2. Let's pause for a moment for station identification. This is the 84th NBC World Series on KQAM. Kobe Milner is the 8th batter to bat in the inning for Kansas. After threatening in innings 4, 5, and 6, they've finally pushed through 3 across here in the 7th inning, and they may not be through. Runners at the corners, 1 away. First pitch to Milner, and he takes a strike, 0-1.
I think that was just for show, kind of see where everybody was going to crash from and see what kind of butt defense the Rebels had on. Third baseman ended up crashing, so probably swinging away here.
Russell delivers a breaking ball, swung on and missed. Nice pitch. That started out over the plate, then Milner swiped at it, but it was tailing down and away.
Milner was totally fooled on that pitch. He was looking fastball away and swung way over the top of it. His head was looking down the right field line.
The 0-2 swung on, bouncing ball to short. This could be 2. A flip to second for 1. Over to first. A dig, but not in time. Nicely scooped by Kranak, but late. And a run scores from third. And now it's 5-2 Kansas with the lead.
Now that's where fundamentals come into play, and the flip from the shortstop was hardly fundamental. He tried a backhanded flip out of his glove. He just gets his hand in the glove and makes a quick flip for the Irway to make a good turnaround at second. They might have had that double play. I think just the cuteness of the play cost the Rebels a run.
So Eisenhower scores. Now back to the top of the order we go with Nate Crossman. As the Cannons have batted around, it still ended up being a pretty close play, all things considered, but Kansas has taken the lead. Russell works from the stretch, and the pitch fouled back and out of play. 0-1 to Nate Crossman.
That's a 4 spot in the inning, but it's not like the Cannons have hit the ball all over the ballpark. Just rudimentary errors, a couple of bloopers, a couple of balks. Some not fundamental play has cost Newton in this inning.
Well, don't forget, it all started with a leadoff hit batsman. Fly ball right field. Chamberlain under it, and he'll camp under it and make the catch to retire the side, but not before 5 score for the inning for the Kansas Cannons. Stretch time from Lawrence Dumont. The score is Kansas 6, Newton 2 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
Oh well. Stretch time at Lawrence Dumont. That means they're playing a little John Denver. We've got some Take Me Out to the Ball Game coming up. Our thanks to Team Electric, sponsoring our coverage of the NBC World Series, and also Just Right Auto Repair. Thanks to all of our sponsors here at the 84th NBC. This thing is turned. 5-2 is our score as the Kansas Cannons plate 4 in the top of the 7th inning, and they lead Newton now 5-2. So Kansas batted around, plated 4, and now Newton bats for the first time tonight from behind. And the first batter here in the bottom of the 7th inning is Isaiah Perez. Takes a pitch for a strike, 0-1.
Now, if you're the Rebels, you just got to take one play at a time here and try to get yourself back in this game and put the Cannons back on their heels a little bit.
Trevin Reynolds, again listed as an outfielder, still pitching for the Kansas Cannons. He's been on since we resumed play. Pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Perez.
Now he's got to get in defensive mode here and protect the plate. At least put the looking at something hard and outside and just buckling. Great pitch.
That's the second strikeout for Reynolds since coming into the game. Right after the rain delay, back to the top of the order we go with Jay Snodgrass, and a big swing and a miss, 0-1 to him.
88-mile-an-hour fastball for strike one.
Well, if he plays in the outfield a lot, he must be a right fielder with that kind of arm.
There you go. Don't need a cutoff for him, right?
Down and away at 87. 1 ball and 1 strike to Snodgrass. 6-2 is the score. I thought that the Cannons had scored 5 times in the 7th, and finally they've, again, the slow scoreboard operator has finally corrected it. It's 6-2.
He's got a long way to go if he's tired already.
2 balls and a strike, the count at the plate to Snodgrass. Working from the windup is Reynolds, and here comes the pitch. Another big swing and a miss, and the count's even 2-2.
You know, it's really cool to see these Kansas teams come. I'm really excited the Hutch Monarchs are here. You know, Mark and Kim Blackham do such a great job for them, and I know Steve Carpenter, who's just on the radio with us.
Pitch inside, close.
A big part of that program for years. You know, they've kept Hutch baseball in Hutchinson, Kansas, and I know it means a lot to that community to have summer baseball there, and for them to play in this tournament again is pretty exciting.
Another full count pitch in this baseball game. We've had a ton. A big swing and a miss, and down goes Snodgrass. 3rd strikeout of the game for Reynolds since coming on in the 5th inning.
He reared back and found another mile an hour and got it by him at 89. 2 strikeouts in a row.
1 looking to Perez, 1 swinging to Snodgrass, and now Landon Irway will step in. Hutch Monarchs in action next here tonight.
Making quick work of these 3 in this lineup.
Landon Irway fouls the first pitch off, 0-1 to him.
So far, he's taking care of the 9th batter in the lineup in the leadoff, and now the number 2 batter down 0-1 in this count as well.
The pitch to Irway, fastball just missed at 88, a little bit outside, 1-1. The Hutch Monarchs and the Colorado Cyclones tonight. After this game. 1-1, here's the pitch. Outside. Scott, you and I could almost set up our live equipment here and broadcast the end of that game when we go on the air for the morning show tomorrow.
Well, I think Steve does such a good job. We let him do it, the rest of it. We close the window, tell him to close the window, turn the lights out when he's done.
2-1, I like that idea. Foul backing out of play. Counts even at 2-2.
We'll send him some Cholitas gift certificates.
Yeah. Hey, there's some abuelos in the media room that was just fantastic.
It was outstanding.
Oh. Irway is 0 for 3. He's flied out twice to center field and also grounded into a fielder's choice. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball 3 as it was down low.
You can almost tell if you can read pitchers. When he comes over the top a little bit, you can tell that curveball's coming. His motion actually almost slows down a little bit compared to when he brings the fastball. So if you can get a good read on him, you know what he's throwing.
He's 1 strike away as Reynolds from striking out the side in order. Here's the 3-2. Got him looking. Strike 3. That's exactly what he did. Boy, Nate Reynolds has been just what the doctor ordered for the Colorado Cannons in relief as he strikes out the side in the 7th. To the 8th we go. And it's Kansas 6, Newton 2 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM.
If we really put everything in our name that we do, it would look like this. Professional mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structural, telecommunications, civil, transportation, aviation, water, wastewater, energy, land development, planning, field services, survey, geotechnical, materials testing, inspection, 3D scanning, air and water balance, engineering consultants.
I can't hear you. Turn the program down, please.
Elevator in lower concourse, displaying your prize. The winning number is 77.
Oh, I'll pull it up. Thank you.
77. 7727.
Is that your girlfriend, Anthony? Huh? I was just curious. To the top of the 8th inning we go, and the Kansas Cannons got the ultimate shutdown inning after they scored 5 times in the 7th. They get the side retired in the bottom of the 7th, 1-2-3, and now the Cannons right back to work again. here in inning number 8.
Well, they
To
made
start
quick
it all
work
off-
of that, Stevie. That's got to sting a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah. To start it off, Connor Hurst, right-handed batter. Big swing and a miss at the first offering. And it's 0-1 to him.
Well, the Kansas Cannons have overcome early base running mistakes to grasp a momentum in this game, leading 6-2 as we head to the top of the 8th. 6 outs left for the Rebels.
Swing and a miss now to Connor Hurst. He's taken one, swung at one, also a ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to him. Hurst led off the last inning by getting hit by a pitch, and that opened the floodgates for 5 to score in the inning. Takes down low here, and the count is 2-2. New pitcher in the game for the Rebels. It's a left-handed pitcher. We will try to get a jersey number and name momentarily as the pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. Actually, that is Cale Russell, who came on at the end of the last inning.
Right, number 1.
The Norman, Oklahoma product, who is finished pitching collegiately from Oklahoma Christian he was. Working quickly, here's the 2-2. Muscled, left center field, that's going to get down, that'll be a base hit. And for the second inning in a row, Connor Hurst leads off an inning by getting on base.
Nice little, got off the handle, but it was smooth enough, and he's a powerful enough kid, big kid, that he just fisted it right over the shortstop's head, a little flare into left field.
So Briley Ware will step in from the right side. Dangerous Briley Ware with a runner at first and nobody out. Russell will work from the stretch and deliver. Fouled back and out of play, 0-1. We had a winner earlier for our Champs Sports Bar giveaway, a free meal at Champs, hamburger, french fries, and a drink. Tawanda Washington was the winner of that. So
Tawanda Washington. Boy,
to
she sounds familiar to me. I know I've heard her name somewhere before.
Yeah.
Huh.
She might know some people that we know, for all we know. Throw
Might
over to
be.
first. Back diving in is Hurst. But that's all right. We appreciate her listening and winning. And
Congratulations to
enjoy Champs.
her.
Yeah. Briley Ware takes the next offering from Russell outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ware singled in the first inning, walked in the 7th. He's also flied out and reached on an intentional walk. 1-1. Breaking ball up high. 2-1.
Both pitchers working very quickly right now.
That was a curve at 68 miles an hour that didn't quite bend enough for Russell's liking. The 2-1 pitch pulled foul over toward the third base dugout. And that'll even things up at 2-2. Nobody out, top of the 8th inning. A 5 spot for the Kansas Cannons in the last inning, now trying to add to their 6-2 lead. And also move closer to moving to 2-0 in pool play. Newton is trying to do the same thing. There's a swing and a miss. It tipped into the glove, but down goes Ware for the first out of the inning.
Tried to get that outside pitch and try to drive to right field and just swung right through it. Actually tipped it a little bit. Catcher did a great job of hanging on for the 3rd strike.
So here's Braden Kirkpatrick now with a runner at first and 1 away, and he takes a change up, and that one misses down low at 73 miles an hour. 1 ball and no strikes. There goes the runner,
Boy,
and the
read
pitch
that
is up
great.
high. The throw to second looks like it's a little late, and it bounced in and actually hit the runner, Hurst, as he was sliding into second base. Well, you're seeing all these catchers, Scott, and it might be by design, bouncing their throws into second.
I actually think that they're teaching it that way to pick up speed, Steve.
Off the turf.
Keep it low so you can easily handle it.
But that one hit the sliding Hurst into second base.
Well, he
He's
got
safe.
a phenomenal jump.
Swung on, bouncing ball to short. They're going to have a play at third. Now a rundown. The shortstop Gorman to third, and now they'll get in a rundown, and Perez tags out the runner, Hurst, between second and third. So 6-5 on the putout right there, and that's another example of maybe this turf changing the play, because if this is grass and dirt, that ball takes a lot longer to get to short, and maybe Cormain doesn't have a play at third.
Right, but it got there so fast. And he was caught in no man's land. He had no choice but to go to third. He was way off second on the secondary lead and just caught.
So the second out of the inning with a runner at first now for Jordan Williams, who takes a strike, 0-1. 2-1, excuse me. He had 2 balls prior to that. Lifts this one fouling out of play, and that is the second strike. It's 0-2. I was right the first time. The scoreboard was wrong.
Again!
I need to trust my own instincts.
That's right. Just go, don't even look at that thing anymore.
My scorebook was right, and the scoreboard was wrong earlier on the score. Bouncing ball to third, fielded by Perez on a couple of hops. Throw to first in time, and a 5-3 putout. So the Kansas Cannons go without scoring in the 8th, but they're still up 4 after 7.5. Kansas 6, Newton 2 at the 8th.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
We service all makes of mowers, utility vehicles, and tractors. Prairie Land Partners, delivering the right solution.
Shire Graphics bringing you the 84th NBC World Series along with Just Right Auto Repair. Thanks to those fine sponsors helping you hear this game tonight. Here we go, bottom of the 8th inning. Now time running out for the Newton Rebels all of a sudden, who had led most of the ninth, but they trail 6-2. As stepping in from the right side of the plate, Austin Cranack takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. And now swings and sends one back to the backstop. He's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Can Trevin Reynolds continue his great work? He has retired 4 in a row and struck out 3 in a row.
His fastball has been phenomenal. And then he pulls that little wrinkler in once in a while at 68 and just keeps him off the balance, just like that.
Took something off there, and Cranack barely got a piece of it at, guess what?
68 miles an hour.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Cranack has flied out 3 times. Ball to the right side of the field. Twice to first and once to right field. 6-2 our score. The Kansas Cannons with the lead over the Newton Rebels. Bottom of the 8th inning. Newton batting as the home team. Another breaking ball. That one at 69. And it just missed down and away.
That was close. Too close to take, but he did and got away with it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Cranack. And Russell comes back with looked like a fastball, but it's chopped foul at the plate. Boy, it's funny the way this game started. It seemed like Newton had a lot bigger than just a 1-run lead after 2 innings.
Yeah.
They really came out of the gate playing well, but they have not scored since the second. Here's the 1-2 to Cranack outside, 2-2.
Well, he's showing patience up there, not lunging and swinging any bad pitches, trying to stay alive, down 4. You need every at-bat you possibly can.
The 2-2, strike 3 called, and down goes Cranack. That is 4 strikeouts in a row issued by Trevin Reynolds, and he is really rocking now.
Well, I tell you what an asset coming out of the bullpen this guy's been. Wow.
5 strikeouts since coming on in the 5th inning, and 4 in a row. Here's Dylan Brooks, the designated hitter. Lifts this one high, left side. It won't be a strikeout. It's over near the left field line. The shortstop, Will Clark, underneath it, and comes away with the catch near the line, 2 away.
Do you know what I like about him, the pitcher, is that he starts you off with a fastball. You know fastball is coming. If you beat it, congratulations to you. But he's doing a really good job of throwing strikes, getting ahead of every hitter.
And the next one he'll face is Elon Chamberlain, the right-handed hitting.
It'll be an 85, 88 mile an hour fastball. Zoom.
Down and in.
Right fielder number 34,
ball 1.
Elon Chamberlain.
It was a 38-mile-an-hour return to the pitcher. We do know that.
That's really bothering you tonight, isn't it?
The 1-0. Well, it's nice. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. It's nice to have that luxury. You know, you call so many games during the summer at smaller ballparks that don't have the radar, and then when it's here, it's nice. And so you start conditioning to look at it and see that it's a 38-mile-an-hour toss from catcher to pitcher. It's fabulous. 1-1. Look out. Fouled right off to our left and below us. And then, boy, it took a weird carom all the way over near the party deck.
Wow.
That was about a 80-foot carom to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Elon Chamberlain.
Comes the curveball.
Trevin Reynolds has been dealing the last couple of innings. Takes something off there. He went around. He'll have to head to first. The throw to first by the catcher is there. That's another strikeout. That is 6 for Reynolds since the 5th. We go to the 9th. Kansas 6, Newton 2 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker KQAM.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
Thanks to Cherry Oaks Golf Course in Cheney, one of our sponsors of the NBC World Series. Great public course. If you want a public course without all the hassle of some of the crowded public courses in other places, head out to Cheney and go to Cherry Oaks Golf Course, sponsoring our coverage of the NBC World Series. We start the 9th. Big swing and a miss for Will Clark. He's down in the count, 0-1. His Kansas Cannons leading Newton 6-2. Clark sends the next pitch through on the left side into left field for a base hit. And yet again, the Cannons with their leadoff batter aboard.
What more could you want? Attend Wingapalooza August 4th for your chance to sample more than 20 flavors of wings.
4th time tonight that Kansas has done that, gotten their leadoff batter aboard, and on at first base is Clark. Here's Bob Eisenhower.
You know, Eisenhower can hit the ball well, and the guy on first can run well. Do you try to put someone here to keep the pressure on? Obviously they did.
They do. Up the third base side, and hurrying off the mound is going to be Russell. His throw to first is late as well. It'll be a bunt single for Eisenhower, and first and second for the Cannons.
You got to keep the pressure on. 4 runs in this kind of deal is not enough, I'm telling you. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if once again they put the small ball in play.
Especially down at the bottom of the order.
Absolutely.
Chris Apolka's up, although he's having a nice night, a couple of hits.
These guys can run, though.
He's showing bunt, pulls it back outside for a ball, 1-0.
And you got to take it down third base side because you got a left-handed pitcher on, so that means he's got to cross over and come over to his opposite side to get it.
He's going to chop it up the third base side. The only throw will be to first, and it's in time. Second baseman covering, so that's going to go 1-4. But it does the job. The sacrifice moves 2 into scoring position.
Job well done.
Well, it was a pet peeve of yours earlier in the game.
Well,
that wasn't
you understand why, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it just happened a couple times, though, and it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, look what happened now. You execute bunts. Now you got 2 guys in scoring position, 1 out, and you got 2 good bats in the hand here.
Infield in for Newton. They cannot afford to give up any more runs. Down 4 in the top of the 9th inning. Pitch high and tight to Colby Milner, 1-0.
Just get the ball in the outfield and you got to run.
The 1-0, it's going to be in the outfield on the ground and might well score 2. Here comes 1 run to score. Eisenhower to score as well. A 2 RBI single out of the 9 hole for Colby Milner, and it's 8-2. Cannons have the lead.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting. Hit it right back up the middle. Hit it where it's pitched. Don't try to do nothing fancy with it. Didn't try to drive it. What's good about this is these guys are hitting the ball hard on the ground. And like you mentioned, Stevie, wet turf, being on turf, the ball really scoots back quick. And when you have it drawn in the infield, you're almost surrendering a hit there.
And Newton is going to go to the bullpen. This is interesting now. Down 6 going into the bottom of the 9th inning. They're going to use another relief pitcher. And, that's something that, as we've talked about, you got to save, or at least you'd want to, but
that's just going to get this kid, knowing that maybe the game's out of reach, get him a couple of batters that get him some work in and see how he does. Now's a good time to do that.
We'll take a timeout. It's all Kansas here in the last few innings. Cannons 8, Newton Rebels 2 at the 84th NBC World Series on KQAM. Freddie Loeffler is the new pitcher for the Newton Rebels. He's a local product out of Heston, and he is also attending Tabor. And he is in now to try and stop Bethany College, not Tabor, Bethany, in trying to stop the bleeding here for his Newton Rebels, trailing 8-2. 2 more across in the top of the 9th for the Kansas Cannons, and still only 1 out and a runner at first. And Loeffler will have his hands full with Nate Crossman, the leadoff hitter in the lineup for Kansas, the first man he'll face. And Crossman sends one to center field pretty much right at TK Kuntz, who catches the liner 1 away.
Loeffler, a lanky right-hander, tall and lanky. Looks like Shaggy out there, that long hair and his hat pulled down low. Looks like he can be an intimidating figure on the mound.
He is listed on the Bethany roster at 6'3", 155.
He's lanky, I'm saying. He's got a wiry arm. Weird motion a little bit.
Here's Connor Hurst taking the first pitch down and away for a ball, 1-0. Well, the guy can throw, or he wouldn't be playing here tonight.
Absolutely. Give him a lot of credit. Just a weird motion. He keeps that front leg real stiff. You watch him, Steve. Look at that. Straightens out, almost hyperextends that front leg.
And then the right back leg is bent noticeably.
Yeah.
About a 45-degree angle. Really odd.
It almost hurts watching him extend that front leg out because, like you said, he's a tall, lanky kid, and almost hyperextends, almost bends. Look at that. Woo.
Second pitch missed, 2-0. Now the 2-0. And that one down and away, 3-0. And now Mo Escamilla is going to come talk to his pitcher. 8-2 the score. Kansas Cannons on top of the Newton Rebels, and they are now, Kansas, 3 outs away from going to 2-0 in pool play. Tomorrow night, Scott, we will have the local team in our Tuesday coverage as the Mulvane Patriots. They take on the Northwest Arizona Boom.
Ooh, that'll be a good game.
That'll be our 7 o'clock feature game tomorrow.
Look at that pretty moon starting to pop out from the storm clouds now, sitting real low. Looks like he's smiling down on Lawrence Dumont Stadium.
Yeah.
Right now it's 10:38 here, 62 degrees at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, where the Cannons are 3 outs.
Loeffler stretches, delivers high, towering fly ball near the first base dugout, and the first baseman is over and can't make the catch. Kranek, it landed in the field of play. There's not much wind. I think he was just fooled by the railing of the dugout, had to look down for it, and lost sight of the ball.
This goes back to what we talked about opening night, is you can't keep giving teams extra outs. And this could come back to bite you here as Loeffler's doing what he has to do to throw pitches to get people out. You got to make the plays behind him.
3 balls and a strike to Hurst. Loeffler stretches, delivers, and that hit him. Hurst is going to go down to first base on the hit batsman. And down to second base will go Kobe Milner.
Contact your local agent today to see how to protect
Boy,
your
is the
paycheck.
pitching just falling apart for the Newton Rebels here in the last few innings.
Yeah. They've gone through a lot of pitchers tonight, Steve. You alluded to that earlier. Nobody else warming up in the bullpen right now. I think they've kind of conceded that Loeffler's going to be their guy to get him out of this inning.
Briley Ware will step in now. 2 outs in the inning, runners at first and second. Kansas Cannon's already up 6, a chance for more. First pitch to Ware, taken for a strike, 0-1. Briley Ware has singled once, and he has walked a couple of times, also hit by a pitch, and flied out and struck out. A busy night for him. And that one comes in tight, and it hits him as well.
Accidents do happen.
And that's 2 hit batsmen, and Ware has a little bit of a look out at Loeffler like, dude, what are you doing? He shakes it off, and now the coach out of the dugout for the Newton Rebels, and he might be asking if Ware
he leaned into it.
Didn't get out of the way.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's almost like he leaned into it and didn't really make an attempt to evade the pitch.
They are now loaded with Kansas Cannons for Braden Kirkpatrick, who is the 8th man to bat in the order. The Kansas Cannons batted around in the 7th. They're on the verge of doing it here. Loeffler stretches with 2 outs, nobody holding the runners on. And the pitch, a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
Loeffler just struggling out there right now. Can't throw strikes. Hit 2 batters in a row now. A little shaken up out there.
Stretches, fires again. There's a breaking ball that comes in at 64 for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's not going to fool too many people when your fastball's 72.
Pitch swung on, fouled out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you're Hutchinson and Colorado, you cannot see this game end soon enough.
Exactly, because you're looking at 11:15 start time probably at least, not 11:30.
Yeah. Breaking ball down low, 2-2. They are cheering for strikes.
Loeffler trying to get that breaking ball in there for a 3rd strike. Throws it in the dirt, 2-2.
We've never been known to cheer for strikes or outs.
I'm cheering right now, I'll be honest with you.
Another one fouled back and out of play.
Swing and miss would be nice. But they've stranded a lot of guys on base tonight. The Cannons have. A lot of guys early on base.
How about Newton with 2 hits in the first 2 innings?
Yeah.
They've only gotten 2 since then.
Crazy.
2-2 pitch, inside ball 3, 3-2. There is somebody else warming up down in the Newton bullpen.
Runner's going to be running here.
We might see that pitcher soon if this batter's not retired. Braden Kirkpatrick, full count with 2 outs. His team leading 8-2. Loeffler stretches. There go the runners. Strike 3 called on the outside edge, and Kirkpatrick goes down. Loeffler didn't know that was the 3rd out of the inning. he looked back at the scoreboard. Okay. Well, here we go. To the bottom of the 9th. Newton needs 6. Kansas Cannons 8. Rebels 2 at the 84th NBC World Series on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Davis Moore, we pride ourselves on our ability to provide a safe and reliable driving experience to all of our customers. When we say that safety is our top priority, we mean it. That's why every single one of our pre-owned vehicles goes through a 171-point inspection before it ever goes on our lot. And with our Davis Moore 360 guarantee, you can drive forever, worry-free. So let us prove to you that we have the best car care and best customer experience, and why nobody beats a Davis Moore deal. Come by any one of our 5 Davis Moore locations or check us out online at davis-moore.com.
Make sure clothes fall off.
Cloud.
Well, the Kansas Cannons going with local product Reagan McLeod to try and finish off the Newton Rebels. McLeod, another local guy. He's from Newton and attending Tabor College, and the right-handed side armor will try and polish off the Rebels and get his Kansas Cannons to 2-0 in pool play. Each team was 1-0 starting the ninth, but that will change. And a tall order for the Newton Rebels as they need 6 to tie, 7 to win with just 3 outs remaining. So it'll be Mo Escamilla to lead it off, the catcher, followed by TK Kuntz and Peyton Cormain. 6, 7, and 8 for Newton, trailing 8-2 here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Thanks to Champs Bar and Grill for sponsoring our coverage of the 84th NBC World Series, and thanks to them for providing their free meal giveaway. In the 7th inning, we'll do it all tournament long. Hamburger, French fries, and a drink from Champs. Gave away one tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow night. So here's Escamilla taking the first pitch from McLeod. It's a strike, 0-1. Reagan McLeod again pitching collegiately at Tabor, where he's a junior. 0-1. McLeod stretches, and the pitch fouled back right side. Scott, we were analyzing the stance of Loeffler, the relief pitcher for Newton, and Reagan McLeod has a very similar stance. Watch him bend the right leg, then extend the left.
And he comes suicide a little bit, like the old Dan Quisenberry days. Remember that?
Yeah, a little submarine or sidearm. I don't think he quite dips low enough for a submarine, but there's the right leg bend.
Yeah, it is.
And then bit of a sidearm, and then it tails away as well. He's got some slider action on it away from right-handed hitters. That one missed outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mo Escamilla singled in the 2nd inning. He has been hit by a pitch and grounded out as well, so he's 1 for 2 with a run scored. His team trails by 6, though, in the bottom of the 9th inning. Took something off there, and that one missed away. Count's now full at 3-2, and if you're Reagan McLeod, you just want to throw strikes.
Exactly.
Up by 6, bottom of the 9th.
Just let him hit it and let that defense work for you.
Works from the stretch out of relief. Gets the sign and delivers, and the pitch swung on, and it's off the glove of McLeod, out to second base. Fielded there by Opolka for a nice 1-4-3 putout.
Good job by Opolka to really regroup and reset. He was going to his right because he thought the ball was going to the middle. Deflection off the pitcher's glove. He retracted, went back to his left, and made a great play.
So 1 away now, and that'll bring up TK Kuntz, the center fielder. He's had a quiet night, just 0 for 1. He's walked and also had a sacrifice bunt. First pitch to Kuntz, down and in for a ball, 1-0.
You're right, Stevie. Just come out. Don't get cute with him. Don't try to get too fancy. Just throw strikes and get out of here.
McLeod through the stretch delivers, and this one is lined into left field. That'll get down. It'll be a base hit. Crossman plays it on a hop, and a 1-out single for TK Kuntz. But the Rebels will need a lot of base hits. Down by 6 here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now double play, get him out of this game. Wonder if they'll steal 6 runs down to prevent the double play. Good speed on the base pass.
McLeod through the stretch, pitches home, in there for a strike, 0-1. Reagan McLeod has appeared in 18 total games at Tabor over the last 2 seasons. In fact, it's an even split. 9 in 2017 he appeared in, and 9 this past season. But he only has 2 starts in his career, so the other 16 out of the bullpen, which is what he's doing here tonight.
Tabor, a good baseball program in the KCAC.
Boy.
I think a former Shocker coaches that team.
Kansas Cannon fans think he just got squeezed on a strike call right there. That one missed away, 1-1.
I thought so as well. Pretty close.
McLeod stretches again, delivers.
There's
Pitch
your
swung on, bouncing ball to short. Could be 2. It's juggled at second, and that's all they'll get. The shortstop, Will Clark, didn't get it in cleanly, but they still got the 6-4 put out at second base to retire the lead runner.
Yeah, short hopped Will Clark, and he had to bring his hands up a little higher than what he wanted, and it bit him. He caught it in the chest, regrouped, and they got the flip to second to get the leading runner. Still a good, solid play. Got the lead runner, 2 outs now. Still up 6, bottom of the 9th.
Your attention, now pitch
Pinch hitter for the Rebels, and that'll be Troy Owen who will step in. Owen out of Denver, Kansas, and through playing collegiately. Reagan McLeod will stretch and look over at first.
No lead at all.
And the pitch high. I was mistaken on Reagan McLeod's statistics. I was reading his fielding stats. As a pitcher, he's appeared in 15 games over the last 2 years with 2 starts. 21 and a third innings he's pitched in 2 seasons at Tabor. 9.28 his earned run average.
Wow.
Pitch lined on a rope into left field. That's inside the line, heading to the corner, and that'll be extra bases. Crossman juggles it down in left field. Heading to third base is going to be Cormain, and it'll be a double and extra bases for Troy Owen. He was pinch hitting for Isaiah Perez, the third baseman, a number 9 hitter in the order. So Owen at second, Cromain at third, and we'll go back to the top of the order with Jay Snodgrass. Now, you wouldn't expect very big leads here for these Newton runners. Again, knowing that they just need hit after hit after hit. Don't want to get too cute off of a base. And they need a lot of hits now with one out left.
They need a softball rally is what they need. Base hit after base hit.
McLeod stretches, delivers, and that one apparently up high.
I'll say this about the umpire. He's not giving anything, is he?
And you might think in a 6-run game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th he might.
And
you're right.
at 10:50 when this game started a little after 7. A rain delay for 47, 48 minutes.
The 1-0 pitch. And
wow.
Down and away. And the count's now 2 balls and no strikes.
Are you surprised they switched pitchers? It was dominating as the last one was. Get out of here with the win.
Well, the time is called now from behind the plate Eisenhower to talk to his pitcher. The only thing I might be thinking is that
save him a little bit.
Trevin Reynolds was so good. Yeah, maybe leave something for if you need him to pitch an inning or so on Wednesday night. And you're up 6 runs. If it was a 2-run game, maybe you leave him in. But up 6, let him get the rest, enjoy his body of work, and get somebody else in there for 1 inning, because you burn somebody else for 1. That's not really going to affect them a whole lot to be ready on Wednesday night as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one was across at the knees at 78 miles an hour, 2-1. Reagan McLeod has walked 13 in his career at Tabor in 21 innings. Struck out 12. Opponents hitting a pretty nice average against him.
About hitting.
342 opponents are hitting against him at Tabor. Inside, ball 3, 3-1 the count.
Snodgrass probably be taken here.
3 balls and a strike the count to him with 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning, 8-2. Newton trailing, and the pitch chopped foul over toward the third base dugout.
Took a good healthy cut.
So we'll try it again. This game started at about 7:30. Had about a 30-minute rain delay, probably more like 40 minutes, although we've never heard an exact time. I guess it was close to 40. That's what it felt like. We're approaching 11 o'clock now. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Down and in, ball 4. And that'll load the bases up. So a little bit of drama for now.
A little bit.
Landon Irway can certainly change that. He's stepping up now. If he's able to get even an extra base hit, things start to become a little more interesting. Bases loaded, 2 away, bottom of the 9th inning. Newton batting, but down by 6 runs right now, 8-2. Reagan McLeod trying to finish off the Rebels. Delivers a strike, 0-1 to Irway. Irway is 0 for 4 tonight. It's been a real grind for him. A couple of flyouts to center field. He has grounded into a fielder's choice and was caught looking in the 7th inning. Hits have been hard to come by for the Rebels tonight. They've picked up just 6, but again, 2 of them in the first 2 innings. That one just caught the outer edge, and the home plate umpire, Ben Harlow, delayed strike call 2, but he did call it, and it's 0-2, and now the Newton Rebels are down to their final strike.
Now you got to put the ball in play. You cannot take any close pitches.
Kansas Cannon fans clapping. Time is called at the plate. They're standing behind the Cannons dugout, trying to rally Reagan McLeod to the final out. Here they are. And now McLeod stretches, delivers the 0-2, strike three called, and that's the ball game. Irway doesn't like it, but he goes down looking for the second consecutive at bat, and Kansas comes from behind and wins by the score of 8-2. We'll be back with the final wrap right after this.